It's New Mexico and Colorado State in a battle for second place in the Mountain West Conference. TCU is number 1, 5-0 in the league. Colorado State 3-1 at TCU next Saturday. New Mexico 3-2 and has been runner-up in this conference each of the last 3 years. Hi, everybody. Alongside Rod Gilmore and Trevor Matich, I'm Dave Pasch. Stacey Dale Schumann will join us shortly. Well, fellas, I did a little homework today. I read my dictionary and found out that enchantment means a great liking for something wonderful and unusual. And for those of you that have never seen New Mexico running back Dontrell Moore play, prepare to be enchanted, because Rod Gilmore, he is both unusual and his story is wonderful as well.
I think that's right. I think enchanting does describe him, but I think it's remarkable that he's even playing football this season. And that's because he suffered a serious injury just 9 months ago in a bowl game. He tore his ACL in his knee, and everybody thought he would redshirt this season as you take a look at that. And that's because they figured 18 months of recovery time to get him back to normal. He's cut that time in half. 9 months after that injury, he's back on the field. Take a look at the timeline for that. February 3rd, he had the surgery, but prior to February 3rd, he started rehabbing his knee. He missed spring ball, played in the first game, wasn't that great in that first game, but after that, he was on his way to what looks like another 1,000-yard season and 32 yards away from becoming the sixth man to run for 1,000 yards in 4 seasons. And you know something else, Trevor? This guy has been so great. People are saying he's better than ever, and if he is, that's bad news for Colorado State because he has just owned them in the past.
Well, if you're Colorado State, you have to score. They're averaging, the Lobos are over 30 points a game. Colorado State won't try to match Dontrell with one player. They'll do it with 3. Running back Kyle Bell is the anti-Dontrell Moore. He's a big bludgeoning power back. When the Lobo defense stacks him up, you've got David Anderson at receiver. Everyone knows he'll get the ball. No one can stop him. At least they have it this year. And spreading it out to those guys, quarterback Justin Holland being called the most talented quarterback in Colorado State history. The question here, can these 3 spread the ball around enough to counter what they expect from Dontrell Moore tonight?
And Colorado State head coach Sonny Lubick may have to rely even more tonight on that trio because of problems in the kicking game. Stacey Dale Schumann will have that story when we return to Albuquerque just a few days shy of Halloween.
Rated M for mature. The must-have action title of 2005 is now a PlayStation 2 event. Resident Evil 4 for the PlayStation 2.
This month, I will rack up a massive cell phone bill talking about absolutely nothing.
When my parents open next month's cell phone bill, they will cry.
My calls will be monitored like a felon's.
My dad's patience with my cell phone bill will run out at a socially crippling time.
Don't get schooled in wireless. Get GoPhone. Pay as you go with cash or pick your plan with debit or credit. GoPhone comes with everything but a surprise bill.
I will be grounded several times this year, but not because of my GoPhone.
Only from Singular, raising the bar.
It's the 25th anniversary of Pizza Hut Pan Pizza.
And there's only one way to celebrate 25 years. Pan pizza for 25 cents. Just buy any large specialty pizza at menu price and you'll get a medium one-topping pan pizza for $1.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Capcom. Evil has evolved. Resident Evil 4 for the PlayStation 2.
Back in Albuquerque, New Mexico, taking on Colorado State. And the Rams beat Wyoming last week, but their kicker, Kevin Mark, had some problems. He missed a 36-yard field goal and a couple of PATs. Where do the Rams go from here? With more on that, we bring in Stacey Dale Schumann. Stace?
Thanks, Dave. You know, the poor kicking didn't necessarily hurt the team in its win, but it was bad enough, and Kevin Mark's confidence is vulnerable enough that they have decided to make a change. I spoke with special teams coach Dave Arnold moments before the game today, and he told me that they will go with backup redshirt freshman Jason Smith. He's had a good week of practice, deserves a shot. As for Kevin Mark, he will handle the kickoff duties. They've been working with his confidence, his mechanics, but the bottom line, Dave, they've struggled so much in the kicking game that Coach Lubick has actually had to alter his offensive mentality inside the 40. It'll be interesting to see if that is a problem tonight or if that helps them as the game goes on. We expect a real close one, Dave.
And Mark will kick off as Colorado State wins the toss, elects to defer, so New Mexico will receive. And Sonny Lubick told us this week, as Stacy alluded to, that inside the 40, it's almost like 4-down territory. Maybe that will change tonight with the new kicker in Jason Smith.
Well, that new kicker, as you take a look at Sonny Lubick, new kicker is a redshirt freshman, as Stacy mentioned, but also a walk-on, and he's playing in a hostile environment. That's not a good way to get your first start.
Sellout crowd expected here at University Stadium, where they have been averaging about 38,000. Rocky Long has done a really solid job with this program. 3 straight bowls, the only school in the Mountain West who can say that over the last 3 years. They have a record amount of season ticket holders this year, over 17,000. Gabriel Fulbright and DeAndre Wright are back to return the opening kick here. Battle for second place in the Mountain West between New Mexico and Colorado State. We're underway from the land of enchantment. And Fulbright will take a knee, and New Mexico will start at the 20-yard line. Well, Trevor talked about the fact that New Mexico scores a lot of points this year, about 30 per game. Cole McCamey is a big reason why. He's really improved. He's the first New Mexico-bred quarterback since the late 80s to start. Had a season high last week, 248 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Also 1 rushing. So first down for New Mexico from the 20-yard line. Mr. Everything, Dontrell Moore is in the backfield. And on the option, it'll be Moore. And he picks up about 9 before he's pushed out of play. The only Mountain West team to average 200 yards passing and 200 yards receiving. Moore averaging 192 yards a game in his career against Colorado State. Baskett, Brown, and Wilson, the receivers. Logan Hall, the tight end. A huge offensive line. Pennington is 6'7". Turner 6'4". Cook 6'7". Greer 6'3", 320, and Kilby 6'5", 335. So they did give him the first down. Now McCamey out of the shotgun. And the tight end, Logan Hall, goes down to make the catch, a gain of 8 yards in the play. Colorado State comes into this game last in the Mountain West Conference in rushing defense, but number 1 in takeaways. Carter, Sandy Smith, and Nading up front for Colorado State. Injuries in the linebacking core, only 5 healthy linebackers. Arenik, Jones, and Radford, the starters. Robert Herbert, number 1 in the Mountain West Conference in forced fumbles with 4. Garcia, Coach Haver, and Williams in the secondary for CSU. Moore on 2nd and 3, and nowhere to go. Nice play by Jesse Nading to bring down Moore in the backfield for a loss of 1.
Trevor, we have watched a lot of tape on Dontrell Moore. We've seen him over the last few years. What do you like best about him?
I like best that he can make people miss, not just in the open field, but between the tackles as well. Now there they bottled him up, but even in small spaces, he can embarrass you.
You see the numbers in his career against Colorado State. He was heavily recruited by the Rams, but they wanted him to play defensive back. So he ended up staying close to home. He's from Roswell, New Mexico. McCamey on 3rd down and 4, design play, and he gets the first down to the 45, an 8-yard pickup. Tackled by Travis Garcia.
You see them really relying on their big guys up front. We've seen a couple of option plays, and Dontrell Moore and McCamey running with the ball. That line is huge. Look at that size there.
It's actually smaller than it was last year. They put them on a program so they could be lighter and quicker. They're still big.
Why do you think they're so big at a school like New Mexico, a smaller school which normally doesn't have that kind of size? Get your answer after this, and first down to the 45. They run behind that big line again as Moore can't spin out of Coach Haver's mitts, and he goes down after a gain of about 3.
You talk about the size and how do they get guys here that big? Well, I think Ryan Cook, the center, is an excellent example. He's a guy who was not recruited. He was a walk-on here. He's now an all-conference guy and likely to be the first center drafted, but he was considered a fat doughboy, you know, coming out of high school, and nobody really wanted him, but they've built him up here.
6'7", 320-pound senior from here in Albuquerque. Cook making his 42nd start in front of the quarterback, McCamey. On 2nd and 8, McCamey to the air. And he has Hank Baskett, a terrific wide receiver. Another guy should have gone in the NFL draft very high. Baskett inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. And you see blocking up front in the passing game that time by Cook and company.
Well, Baskett takes advantage of the time that Ryan Cook gives to Cole McCamey. You see, there's no pressure, and Baskett's a huge guy, and he bounces off the first guy. You'll see this a lot today, where he'll get the ball in coverage and make the catch anyway.
New Mexico down the field rather easily in just a handful of plays. More from the 37. And again, Coach Haver grabs him and drags him to the floor. Gain of about 4 to the 33.
And Trevor, you talked about the diet they put the offensive linemen on. You know, part of that was, you know, a lot of cardio. And they made those guys, they said, look, you're 340 pounds, whatever, that's too big for us. We got to get down. They had guys running in the morning until they got down to their target weight, and then they let them go.
Yeah, they called that subtle motivation. Every week when they weighed, if they didn't show progress, they got up early, and linemen don't like getting up.
Brown comes into the backfield along with McCamey, and they'll run the option with him. Little Urban Meyer here. And they got a first down and more. Inside the 20-yard line is Travis Brown. Taken out of the 19 for a gain of 14 in the play.
Hey guys, this is a Colorado State defense that has not performed well against the run all season long. Now, part of that has to do with the fact they've had a lot of injuries. And you'll see here, they're playing some young guys at linebacker and up front, and they just don't get out into space there. They're outmanned on the option. A lot of yardage given up there.
It's part of that new offense, the spread offense. That was a play that we saw a lot from Utah last year with Urban Meyer there. This is the 9th play for New Mexico on this drive. Already 4 first downs from the 18 of Colorado State. Another option. McCamey keeping, getting thrown down on that play by Nathan Pauley. Minimal gain. It'll bring up second down. Well, Trevor, what did the coaches tell you when you were an offensive lineman in terms of trying to motivate you to keep your weight?
The best thing you can do is make a lineman get up early and move his body around. And the more weight you've got, the less you like to move it around. And what they have found is last year they were good at mashing straight ahead, but they couldn't get down the field to block linebackers well. This year, Rocky Long has got those guys much more agile.
Gilmore, you never had to worry about weight in college. I won't even ask you that question.
I was trying to put it on.
2nd and 8. Here's Baskett. And he cannot get away from Robert Herbert. Herbert, a very good run stopper at cornerback, makes the play on defense. Cole McCamey and Hank Baskett have great chemistry together. And with more on that story, here's Stacy.
Dave, they're actually roommates. They're best friends. They spend every waking minute together. Teammates recognize this. They actually call them Kank. Of course, Cole and Hank combined. The name has stuck, guys, and it's become synonymous in this city of Albuquerque.
And Baskett was great friends with Dontrell Moore in high school before they came here. They actually made their visit together here, and they've both befriended McCamey. And McCamey looking for Baskett. He can't come up with it. And Herbert almost came up with a pick on the redirection, and it's 4th down for New Mexico. It's a good stand in the red zone by Colorado State after the Lobos marched down the field. See what they do here on 4th down. Kenny Bird going to try a field goal of about 35 yards. You mentioned the problems for Colorado State last week. Even though Kenny Bird is 10 out of 12 kicking field goals, he missed the PAT last week in a win against San Diego State. And New Mexico is on the board. A 34-yard field goal for Kenny Bird. So a good drive behind the front 5, the big guys, the Hosses for the Lobos. And they get 3 points out of it. Early first in Albuquerque.
With its 3.7-liter fuel-efficient V6 engine and standard electronic stability program, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo delivers its best on-road performance ever. But underneath it all, it's still a Jeep 4x4. Get an 05 Grand Cherokee V8 with $4,250 in cash allowances or 0% financing plus $2,750 in cash allowances.
Prepare for the sequel to the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. Fight as a Jedi. Fight in space. Fight the battles any way you want. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on Tuesday. You fight again. Rated teen.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Mambo Italiano, you must go, 'cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Pinocchio, to become a real boy, you've got to stop this lying.
You are so right, Pop.
It's embarrassing.
I'll try harder.
This is some pizza. Such a crust. And these toppings. Who delivered?
I don't know. I looked in the phone book. I called your favorite place, and they came right over. Uh-oh.
It's not delivery?
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
I should have made the coffee table.
When we got married, suddenly we had 2 of everything.
They had a lot of stuff.
2 dining sets, 2 dogs.
2 car insurance companies.
I'm State Farm agent Joan Roysam, and this is a true story.
We had to get rid of a few things.
Yeah, mainly my things.
He had State Farm.
She had a gecko.
I helped them compare rates and coverage.
It was no comparison.
He was right. For once.
This time, one of my things stayed.
Last year, 1.3 million drivers switched to State Farm. Call an agent today and you'll switch too.
Like a good neighbor,
State Farm is there.
They have grown to love their Lobos here in Albuquerque. 3 straight bowls, 3 straight second-place finishes. Cole McCamey leads the Lobos down the field and sets up a field goal by that man. Kenny Bird from 34 yards away after a 12-play, 64-yard drop. George Hill and Robert Herbert back to receive the kick. And this one sails out of bounds. Colorado State will likely take it at the 35-yard line. That'll be good starting field position for the Rams. Their quarterback Justin Holland coming off a career game. Senior from Lakewood, Colorado. Had 4 touchdowns and 419 yards passing last week against Wyoming. He leads the Mountain West in touchdown passes this year with 18. So first down from the 35. Holland's pass is caught. Damon Morton with his first catch of the season. That's a gain of about 7 on the play. Dontrell Moore's the leading rusher in the league. Kyle Bell is number 2. Tight end is Bartz, Corey Sperry, Osborne, and Anderson. Was closing in at a couple of CSU records. A veteran left side with seniors Brizell and Alcancel. Alada center, a sophomore, Day and Oldenburg on the right side. So officially gain of 8. 2nd and 2. It'll be Bell with his first carry. And the power back powers through the Lobo defense for about 6 to the 49. DeAndre Wright on the stop. A 3-3-5 look. Defensive coordinators Jose Lewis. He is Garde, Parker, and Thompson up front. Case, Mahork, and Sealander at linebacker. We'll see a lot of Quincy Black as well at the linebacker position. Aleem Harris is the rover / Lobo. Fulbright and Padrell the corners. And Lagone and Wright are the safeties. First down, Colorado State at the 49. It's Bell again. Trying to pick a hole, can't find it. Got a yard. Marcus Parker on the tackle.
You know, Dave, you mentioned Holland and his Colorado State offense. You know, he is probably the most naturally gifted quarterback that Colorado State's ever had as they go right at the line of scrimmage here now. He's highly recruited, but really didn't get his opportunity until last year as a junior when he got hurt.
Well, he missed the final 5 games last year, did not play against New Mexico. That was true freshman Caleb Haney who played quarterback as Bell stumbles forward for about 1 or 2. Mike Mahorek, ex-walk-on on the tackle.
You know, Holland was a guy out of high school who threw for 10,000 yards, was a gunslinger, and everybody thought maybe he would replace Bradley Van Pelt. He was never able to knock him out of the lineup, though.
Well, he's had pressure. He's a completely different quarterback when he's under pressure. He only completes 47% of his passes. When he's clean, he completes over 70% of his passes, so that's a big key for him to succeed.
Really stepped up in conference play. 4 out of his 8 interceptions this year came in the opener against Colorado. Here's a little screen. Unable to slip a tackle out there is George Hill. Gets to the 44, about 4 yards of the play, but 3 yards short of the first down. Blake Lagone makes the tackle for New Mexico.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is that in that opening drive, we didn't hear from David Anderson, the top receiver for Colorado State. You know, Holland to Anderson is a big thing for this offense, and they didn't even look Anderson's way in the opening series.
Yeah, they will, though, because Anderson has more or as many catches as the next two receivers combined. And so even though teams know he'll get the ball, they can't stop it.
Fulbright is back to receive the Jimmy Kaler punt on 4th down and 3. Fulbright at the 11. Not much on the return. Stacked up at the 13-yard line. Zach Bryson leads the charge for CSU. Middle of the first quarter. It is 3-0. New Mexico leads Colorado State. Back to Albuquerque after this.
Three climate zones.
How's he doing back there?
3 rows of seats. So everyone can travel in comfort.
He's fine.
The all-new 7-passenger Jeep Commander. It's your world. Take command. Now, get the Jeep Advantage. With a $1,500 cash allowance, you can get the all-new Commander for under $26,500.
Prove you're the best of the battlefield and take home $250,000. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Rated T for teen.
Void in a number of states and where prohibited. For eligibility requirements and complete tournament rules, go to battlefield.ea.com.
Let's see how the jacked up right guard extreme power stripe works now that it's 25% stronger. Let's say these guys are the power stripe. Red Rover, we call T all over! And this guy's odor. You do not want to be odor. Get more extreme, get right guard!
Drink in surprising citrus taste like you've never had before. Discover Fresca in original and new peach and black cherry flavors.
2nd and 5 from the... Fires to the left. Big rush. To the 50. Looking for a... Back in Albuquerque, where history could be made for Dontrell Moore on this drive. He is 16 yards shy, becoming only the 6th player ever with 4 different 1,000-yard seasons. Amazing, especially this year, considering it was only 9 months ago he underwent surgery for a torn ACL. Here's Moore on 1st down. He stood up at the 18-yard line. Gain of 4. Coach Haver on the tackle.
Yeah, talking to the strength and conditioning staff about Moore and what he did in his rehab, it really is remarkable when you think about it. He had 5 or 6 weeks before the surgery, and they started him on exercises and getting the swelling down in that knee. And so when the surgery was over, he was almost ready to run within a week or 2 of having the surgery. And he was lifting weights, heavy weights, by 3 months after the surgery.
But he actually didn't have contact until the first game of the year. He was cleared a couple of weeks before that first game against... We'll get it third in the backfield now with Moore out of the game. Travis Brown on the pitch. Out to the 38, 20 yards. On that play, Darrell Williams with a tackle downfield.
Talk about that.
Also, number 97, Blake Smith went on this number.
Here's that last play before the last one after Dontrell Moore ran the ball coming off the field. It looks like he was a little concerned about his leg, like maybe he buckled a little bit. You saw just a little bit of a gimp in his stride coming off the field, but he's back out there now.
On 1st down at the New Mexico 39. They go back to Moore. Slammed down at the 42. 3 more yards. Nathan Pauly on the stop.
Trevor, when they talk about Moore being better than before, I mean, he was a guy who used to squat 550 pounds before the knee injury. Within 3 months of the surgery, he was squatting 430 pounds. Now, he's stronger now, right? I have to believe that.
Well, he's stronger. He's also better. I think he's learned a lot, this being his last year, in getting ready to play for this season. And one thing he's doing better now than last year, his arm tackles no longer can bring him to the ground.
Sensing some frustration, perhaps, with that knee. You see him shaking his head a couple of times. On second down, it's Baskett again. Slips by 2 defenders. One of the reasons why the pro scouts love this kid is he gets inside the 40. Coach Haber eventually makes this tackle on Baskett.
Well, here you see just single coverage against Herbert, and he slips the tackle. I mean, it was just a man-on-man play, and Baskett made the play big time.
Well, one of the reasons the scout liked him so much is that you saw as the tackle came in that he slipped. Both hands went to the ball. And as soon as he got by that tackle, then he put one hand on the ball for speed.
Baskett from Clovis, New Mexico, received only 1 scholarship offer coming out of high school. Dontrell Moore had a few more scholarship offers than Baskett did. And Moore is inside the 10. And Moore is to the 1-yard line. 37-yard run by Dontrell Moore, who is the 6th player ever to get 4 1,000-yard seasons in a career.
And when you do something special like that, it's nice to have it on a run like this. This is a signature Dontrell Moore run. He's a cutback runner. That's what the book says. He made 2 cutback moves on that play to get into the books. The record books is one of the all-time great runners with his 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season.
So first down and goal. Coming into this game, Moore number 2 in touchdowns among active running backs. Trying to get another one. He's in. Touchdown, New Mexico. 11th rushing touchdown this year. 48th for Moore. He trails D'Angelo Williams by 1.
And he earned this one. There wasn't anything there. He had to drive through 2 tacklers to get this.
And it was not a fumble. The ball crossed the plane of the end zone before the ball came out, so it is a touchdown. 4 carries, 46 yards for Dontrell Moore on that drive, and Albert for the PAT. 10 minutes in, 10-0, New Mexico.
Here's the run that broke the record, and he'll be the first to credit his offensive line. Center Ryan Cook is going to come around at 6'7", 320 pounds. Clears the guard on the loop around, and that is what springs Dontrell Moore to get this 1,000 yards for the season.
This run puts him in rare company, Trevor. We're talking about some all-time great guys. Take a look at who he's up there with now. Tony Dorsett, probably one of the greatest of all time in college football and pro football. Ron Dane won a Heisman Trophy. Cedric Benson of Texas. Amos Lawrence, famous Amos, North Carolina. And Dennis Mann, New Mexico State.
Isn't that funny? Of the 6 players to do it, 2 of them attended schools in New Mexico. We were talking with Rocky Long this week about how hard it is to recruit to a place like this. That you have to rely on getting players from the state. Dontrell Moore's mother, Angela, in attendance, and Rocky talked about his conversation with Angela when he tried to recruit Dontrell, and also the many conversations that they have had over the years.
They are very close. Single mom raised him by herself.
Rocky Long didn't have a son, but if he did, he said Dontrell Moore would be it. Here's George Hill on the kick return for Colorado State. Pushed out a play at the 20-yard line.
When Dontrell was 7 years old, his mother Angela was working full-time and then went to night school to get her teaching credential. And Dontrell would come home, clean the house, do the homework by himself, and then would have dinner ready on the table for his mom when she got home late at night. 7 years old.
Well, they have a very close relationship, such that whenever Dontrell fell off a little bit, and we're not talking about falling off a lot. I mean, this guy's been like a straight A-B student. When he fell to a C in one class, Rocky Long called Angela, and she straightened him out. That C got pushed back up to an A in a hurry.
Yeah, Moore was a 4.0 student in high school. Here's Bell on first down for Colorado State. He's a pretty good back as well. Gets about 12 on the play. Let's go down to Stacy for more on Dontrell Moore.
Dave, we know that Dontrell's father left the family when he was 2 years old for military purposes. He has no relationship with his father, but he said that's okay. I'm not even curious about my dad. My mom is my father and my mother. She's taking care of me and giving me every bit of discipline I need to be a football player and a man, guys.
He's scheduled to graduate in December with a degree in criminology. And then it's off likely to the National Football League. Holland to the air on first down. Zips it into Anderson. First chance to talk about David Anderson, his 49th catch of the season. And it's a first down for Colorado State. Anderson coming into this game only 57 yards and 6 receptions away from tying the yards and receptions mark all time at Colorado State. And Holland changing the play. Plenty of time on the play clock, as you see upper right-hand corner of your screen. Bell spilled in the backfield by Joe Sealander.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by the all-new 2006 Jeep Commander. The most capable 7-passenger 4x4. It's your world. Take command. And Battlefield 2. Modern combat. In stores now.
So no gain on the play for Bell as Sealander made the tackle. Pass play on second down. Anderson is open. Anderson does well to stay on his feet. Gets pasted by Black. There is a penalty flag down on the play. Anderson very close to the first down.
When you got a senior quarterback, he's able to get that defense to declare that it's a blitz.
So roughing the passer, says referee Gerald Wright.
Now, Anderson is on man coverage here. Holland knew it was man coverage because he did a false count. In other words, he started the cadence, he saw the Lobos react to it and come up into a blitz mode, and then he stepped back and changed the play. Now take a look. All this blitz is coming. He knows there's man coverage, and there's the roughing. It's not much, but it's a hand to the face mask, and they'll call that every time.
That's on Marcus Parker. After the touchdown by New Mexico and is inside the 25-yard line. Ben Holland changing things up. New Mexico will give you a lot of looks with that 3-3-5 defense. Bell off the right side. Bell busts a couple of tackles. Ends up losing a yard anyway. But you see the strength of Kyle Bell at 6'2", 225.
Well, as great of an arm as Holland has, the real personality of this offense is that man right there. It's Bell. I mean, they found their stride once he became their regular running back. He's a power guy. Reminds me of Kevin McDougal, who ran here, in the late 90s or so. He's a straight-ahead runner, downhill all the time.
From a small high school in Keensburg, Colorado, but has the high school rushing record, surpassing Lindale White out of USC. Second down. Here's Anderson on the screen. Colorado State had success with that play last year against New Mexico. They have it again on this play. Anderson picks up about 8. That's 2 catches for Anderson, now 50 on the year.
Well, Trevor, you talked about it in the beginning of the show. When you've got that threesome going, Holland, Bell, and Anderson, then they have their offense. And what have we seen in this drive? Holland, Anderson, and Bell.
And they've mixed it up well. They handed it to Bell a few times up the middle. That draws the defense into those interior rushing lanes, and then they go to the perimeter to Anderson.
Holland picking up where he left off last week when he threw for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's perfect so far in this game. On 3rd and 2, they run Bell. Hard to tell if his knee went down before he got the first down. They're going to mark it a little bit short. Adam Gardet and the tackle, Sonny Lubick, told us this week, guys, that when it's 3rd down, 3, 4, 5, sometimes they might run Bell just because he's so big and strong. He could pick up the first down and running plays. He did not there, so we'll get our first look this year at redshirt freshman Jason Smith, who replaces Kevin Mark, who's only 4 out of 9, including a couple of missed PATs last week. 30-yard field goal attempt for Smith. And Smith is 1 for 1. So after the touchdown by the Lobos, Colorado State comes back with 3 as redshirt freshman Jason Smith gets the first points of his young career.
Introducing Taco Bell's new Steak or Chicken Nachos Bel Grande. Grilled authentic carne asada steak or marinated all-white meat chicken give Nachos Bel Grande that great flavor of the grill. For great grilled taste, think outside the bun.
You've never seen anything like this before. Not that. This.
The Icy Hot Medicated Sleeve. Joint-hugging pain relief with medicine that goes on icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away.
The Icy Hot Sleeve. There's never been anything like it.
You love the NFL. You live for the NFL. To you, the NFL is life itself. And ESPN News is your never-ending source for NFL news, highlights, scores, and stats. With shows like The Blitz and Monday Quarterback.
Successful quarterbacks watch coverage. They do not watch their receivers.
Live press conferences, deep analysis.
They play football the way it's supposed to be played.
All things NFL 24/7. Find it at ESPN News.
I promise.
I promise that Chevy Tahoe has best-in-class fuel economy.
Plus, OnStar and StabiliTrak, a combination Ford and Toyota don't offer.
Chevy Tahoe has best-in-class fuel economy. That's better than Toyota Sequoia. Now lease an 06 Tahoe LS two-wheel drive for around $369 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
That's the Chevy Total Value Promise, and it starts right here.
See your local Chevy dealer.
Not all car insurance companies require a big down payment.
I just couldn't understand why every insurance company wanted such a big down payment.
How was I going to afford that and then make the monthly payments? Did they
think I was made of money?
I finally called Acceptance Insurance and got the lowest down payment of all.
I got the car insurance I needed.
Acceptance made it easy and affordable.
Don't pay too much for your car insurance when you don't have to. Call Acceptance and see how we can get your car insurance started today.
Back in Albuquerque, Jason Smith with the first points of his career. Redshirt freshman with a short field goal. And the man that he replaced, Kevin Mark, handling kickoff duties tonight. Wright and Fulbright back to receive the kick. Mark is a very good kickoff man. He's been handling those duties all year. And for the second time tonight, New Mexico will have to start the 20 after a touchback. Well, traditional Big Ten powerhouse Michigan, surprisingly to many, ranked lower than Northwestern. First time that's happened since 1959 when these two teams square off. 7 Eastern Saturday on ESPN and ESPN HD. Call your cable operator, satellite provider for more info.
All I know is that Northwestern is putting up points on everybody.
And giving up points. They're the last ranked defense in the nation. That should be a high-scoring game.
Veteran quarterback and Brett Bazinet having an excellent year there for Northwestern. They clobbered Michigan State last weekend. Also beat Wisconsin. Back to Dontrell Moore. Spins out of the tackle. And then taken down to the 23 for 3 yards. Courtney Jones on the stop for CSU.
You know, you mentioned Dontrell and recruiting, and he had other offers. You know, he's one of the few guys that comes out of New Mexico that Rocky Long has an opportunity to recruit. They just don't have that many recruits in the state of New Mexico.
No, only 1 to 2 signed Division I scholarships out of the whole state other than to New Mexico. They get about 5 Division I scholarships out of the state, but those are kids that don't get offered by anybody else.
McCamey, a New Mexico kid. Basket, a New Mexico kid. So is Moore. Flag down. McCamey ridden down. His head hit the turf as he's tackled on the play by Matt Rupp. Get a flag in there.
I think the official hit McCamey with the flag. I saw him throw it in there. I think the flag hit somebody.
got to be some kind of crime. Assault with a yellow something.
Well, it's not a laughing matter, really. It was a serious issue in the NFL a few years ago with a player from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Zeus Orlando Brown got hit in the eye with it. Back when they had some pellets in the flag.
In the
Weigh it
NFL,
down.
they're supposed to have popcorn, so it's not very heavy. And that was the problem there with that situation, was that there were metal pellets in there, which made it heavier, and it caused damage to his eye.
So an offensive face mask. That's a rare call. You guys are talking about Rocky Long as we look at the penalty.
Here goes the flag. Yeah, it did hit McCamey, but it hit him low, hit him around the thigh pad. And you have to be careful where you throw those flags.
You guys were talking about Rocky Long and his ability to recruit the few great players that come out of the state. Well, it all started with Brian Urlacher from Lovington, New Mexico. He was very thin, came in as a defensive back. Obviously, that's where he played his college football. But now they're getting guys like Cook and Moore and Basket. But Urlacher was the one that started it, and then, of course, gained notoriety not only for himself but for this program when he went in the first round and turned into a Pro Bowler for the Chicago Bears. The current Lobos doing pretty well. They lead after 1 over Colorado State by 7.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
Turn off the Ambilight function on your Philips flat TV, and it's like going back in time. The only flat TV with Ambilight from Philips. You'll never go back to ordinary TV.
Sonic Blast, made with Oreo cookies. Indulge in the classic taste of America's favorite Oreo cookies blended into a creamy Sonic Blast. It's everyone's favorite cookie, served up Sonic style. And now, swipe your card from your car, only at Sonic.
I told her I was a general, and she believed it. You're so full of it, Paige.
Jimmy, help Paige. Doyle, flank that position. Covering fire.
It's my job to lead these men. None of them are gonna die under my command.
Brothers in arms, earned in blood. Rated M for mature.
A 210 horsepower PowerTech V6. 2 available four-wheel drive systems. 5,000-pound towing capacity. And one feature that really attracts attention. The new 2005 Jeep Liberty. Now get a 2005 Liberty with a $3,000 cash allowance or 0% financing plus a $1,500 cash allowance.
7 medals in a row. What's his secret? What's he doing so differently?
Still going. Energizer keeps going and going.
Look at this. This is great. Yeah. This is fantastic. Here it is.
Introducing. It's new, it's the rage, it's the hot new item.
People tell me it's great.
That's cool.
What's that? A new product that's sweeping the world.
Hippest thing. Thank you.
What is it?
It's,
Whatever it is, you can get it on eBay.
Welcome back to Albuquerque. A few days shy of Halloween. New Mexico leads Colorado State by a score of 10-3. The Lobos racked up 110 yards rushing in that first quarter. Colorado State is the worst rushing defense in this conference, allowing close to 200 yards a game, which is 103rd in college football. One of the reasons why we're not back to action here is because they're having a problem with the referee mic. So second down and 19 coming up for the Lobos from their 11-yard line.
You know, McCamey's been pretty good so far, 4 out of 5 in the passing department. Holland for Colorado State's been a little better, 5 of 5.
But he's on the sideline right now. Rams defense hoping to give it back to him here with decent field position. McCamey out of the gun. the end around. Marcus Smith grabbed at the 12-yard line. His knee did hit the turf, nading on the tackle for Colorado State. One of the reasons why the Rams have struggled giving up a lot of yards in the run game is because they're so banged up on defense. With more on that, here's Stacy.
Dave, they're not just banged up. They've been actually decimated by injury on the defensive side. At some point this season, 7 different defensive players have missed at least 25 games. And guys, how much does it hurt when your best linebacker, Jamal Hall, is sitting at home on the couch right now watching this game after ACL surgery on Tuesday?
It hurts a lot, and it's not just Jamal Hall. I mean, they're playing a lot of youngsters in their defense.
Only 5 healthy linebackers coming into this game. McCamey trying to set up the screen, gets hit, and then gets rid of it. And it is not a safety. It's an incomplete pass. No penalty flag and no grounding.
Wait. There's got to be that ball.
Yeah.
That ball didn't get anywhere near the line of scrimmage. He's in the end zone. He's avoiding a sack. That ought to be a safety.
There was no safety nearby, and he did not break the 5-yard tackle box.
He was still inside that tackle box, and you got to throw it. It's got to get back to the line of scrimmage. Got to get through the neutral zone. Should be a safety.
He's in the end zone grounding. He didn't get that ball out of the end zone.
They're going to throw the flag here. Yep. There comes the
13-yard line. Yeah.
He's on the hash mark. See if he goes 5 yards to the side of the hash mark before he throws it.
It was Matt Rupp first, and then Blake Smith hit him next. So it's going to be a safety. The flag is down. A penalty in the end zone. On the offense, automatic safety. It'll be 10-5 New Mexico, and Colorado State will get the ball back.
Well, I'm just surprised that it took the officials that long to figure it out. I mean, there was one right there on the spot, happening right in front of him.
Yeah, the rule is that if he stays within the tackle box, within 5 yards on either side of the ball, then he's got to throw the ball as a catchable pass towards a receiver. And it doesn't matter how far back he goes if he doesn't get outside of the tackle box.
Got to get through the neutral zone.
Got to get beyond the line of scrimmage, exactly.
Well, that's if he's outside the tackle box. If he goes outside the tackle box, then he rolls out to the side. Then he can throw it away without a receiver being there as long as it goes past the line of scrimmage.
Well, there was no receiver anywhere near the ball, and it was about 15 yards shy of the line of scrimmage. So it is a safety. Now New Mexico will have to kick it away from the 20.
He's in the end zone avoiding a sack.
That could be a game changer. Colorado State has been trying to come up with a big play on defense to stop Dontrell Moore. And what do? You keep it on Moore's hand. You force 2nd and 3rd down and longs, and you force a turnover, essentially. That's really what that is. And Colorado State leads the Mountain West in takeaways coming into this game. They forced 5 turnovers last week against Wyoming. So they'll bring on Bird to kick it from the 20-yard line. Hill and Herbert will wait to receive the kick. Herbert from the 10. Cut down at the 30-yard line. ESPN Game Plan features 15-plus college football games each week, so if you can't find the big game you want this Saturday, there's a good chance it's on ESPN Game Plan. Don't miss the games you really want to see. ABC regional coverage. If you don't get Minnesota-Ohio State game, living on the West Coast, you want to see that game, probably on Game Plan. Washington State, USC. If you're on the East Coast, you want to watch that game, you can get it online or get it on television, ESPN Game Plan. So Colorado State takes over at the 30 after the safety, cutting the lead to 5. Here's Bell picking a hole and then throwing a shoulder block and getting about 7 yards. Again, we see the physicality of the running back, Kyle Bell. Take a look at our ESPN game track so far.
Well, it started out as the Dontrell Moore show. He's one of 6 players to reach 1,000 yards in each of 4 seasons. And he showed why in the first quarter of this ballgame.
And even though it looks like he's a little bit dinged with his knee, he still is able to get it done. The question now is that knee going to keep him from being as effective later in the game as it was earlier in the game?
again on 2nd and short. This time he's taken down in the backfield. Adam Garday comes up with a play, the senior from Peoria, Arizona. 2-yard loss.
Well, this is exactly what they want to do on defense, gain penetration. New Mexico will not line up in front of offensive linemen and just play them straight up. They're not big enough. They're not strong enough. And so they stunt and loop and slant into gaps and gain penetration, and that is how Garday got that.
Long, a former college quarterback here at New Mexico. Came back to his alma mater after several stints as defensive coordinator at different schools, including UCLA. Here's Holland on 3rd down. And the pass pulled in right at the marker. It appears it's going to be a 1st down. Catch made by Johnny Walker. 25th grab for him this season. You see the arm strength of Holland with that 3rd down conversion. Last week they had 3 pass plays of 45 yards or more. And they've had only 6, including those 3 guys in the last 2 years. That's what Holland is capable of. And the number's perfect so far, 6 out of 6. On 1st down, it's Bell again. Gain of 4 yards to the 45. Malone on the tackle. We mentioned Holland's performance last week. Over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns against Wyoming. His best day as a collegiate. It's Luke Roberts there for the touchdown. And then Corey Sperry with his 4th touchdown catch of the season. Great day for Holland against Wyoming. You see that stat we just talked about. 3 out of the 6 pass plays of 45 yards or more over the last 2 years in that game last week. Running room for Bell. And again, splatters the pile at the 49-yard line. About 6 yards in that play, very close to the 1st down.
You know, you watch Holland play now and you say, geez, you know, why wasn't he doing that earlier in his career? Well, he was a young quarterback. He was a guy who had a lot of success in high school, threw for 10,000 yards, had a gunslinger's mentality. And he threw a lot of interceptions because he thought with his arm, he could stick it in there whenever he wanted to, and he found out that it wasn't working for him.
Injury as Gabriel Fulbright, the nation's leader in interceptions, is down on the field. That would be a huge loss for New Mexico if he is unable to return.
He's one of their best players, one of their best defenders, one of their top return guys, and he's supposed to be matched up with Anderson most of the night.
And that would allow them to blitz more and attack the line of scrimmage because they believe that Fulbright can limit Anderson's effectiveness. And if he can't match up there, it'll be interesting to see if they blitz as much as they would want to.
Talking to the coaches yesterday, they say Fulbright is a talker. Talks a lot on the field, but
he's a yapper.
He's a typical DB. And Jerome Malone is going to come on to replace him. Malone lost his starting job earlier this year to Mike Quadrell. But the thing about Fulbright is he's pretty tough. He's going to be back out there if he can. Bell on 3rd down and 1, stacked up, doesn't appear to have it. Good stand by the defensive line of New Mexico. All depends on the spot right now for Sonny Lubig's team, whether it's 4th and inches or 1st down.
Good surge by the New Mexico defensive line. They've only got one guy that's over 270 pounds on that line.
Well, how about that defensive line, that front? They're not a big defensive front, but Jose Lewis, the defensive coordinator, he understands this system. He's been running Rocky Long's crazy system. There he is right there. He worked with Rocky Long at Oregon State where they really kind of developed this unique defense, this 3-3-5 that they play a lot of. You see the spot a little bit short there. Their guys are smaller, and they're very aggressive. They attack, they move almost all the time.
The reason they developed it at Oregon State was that the Oregon State defense was just terrible. And Rocky Long, defensive coordinator, was asked by the head coach whether or not they'd be better next year. And he said, nope, got the same players, same scheme. So they changed the scheme to an attacking scheme.
Colorado State going for it on 4th down and inches. That's Sperry in motion. Bell. Going to be close. Joe Sealander with a tackle.
It's all about the spot. And he got hammered, and you see Bell is walking off the field like he knows they didn't get it.
Look at the surge of the defensive line. They play this on the Colorado State side of the line of scrimmage, and that's why there's room for those backers to come up and make the tackle before Bell can get to that yellow line.
Zach Arnett made the tackle. He's a true freshman. He got the last scholarship available this year, and he comes up with a huge play on defense. 10-5, New Mexico leads and takes over at midfield when we come back.
Hello, we're exchange students here to live with you.
Warning. Well, actually, no, there is no warning. Tag body spray was designed for just this kind of thing. High five.
Introducing Tag body spray for guys. Consider yourself warned.
Ruby Tuesday's famous Ultimate Colossal Burger. It's the only burger around that comes with a pound of beef, 2 kinds of cheeses, and a support beam. One of 36 famous burgers, only at Ruby Tuesday. So good.
In all the world, there are a select few who at their very core are capable of incredible transformation. Under the most grueling conditions, they are shaped, hardened, sharpened, ready to stand among the most elite of all warriors, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Good boy. Get the Bulldog of Shredders. Protects more homes and businesses worldwide. Fellows, the world's toughest shredders. Enter for your chance to be ESPN's guest at 3 major sporting events. Look for the Fellows display at Office Depot.
I can be soft sometimes, dramatic other times, thrifty all the time.
You can at the Home Depot. Walk through our lighting and ceiling fan showroom. You'll find an endless selection of unique designs by Hampton Bay, as well as the know-how to make your new look come together. And with 20 to 30% off select styles, now is the time to shed a new light on your decor.
At the Home Depot, you can do it, we can help.
Working on Gabriel Fulbright's right leg. He'll get some time to rest as Rocky Long's offense is back on the field. Long trying to fire up his defense. He is a player's coach. He even lifts weights with his players and can still outlift some of his players. Lobos from their 49 first down. McCamey with a little freeze option. Did well to keep his balance. Basket is down there. Touchdown, New Mexico.
McCamey regains his balance, and watch him throw the jump ball up there, and Basket, the high jumper, comes up with it.
And talking with the coaches this week, they say that is where Basket is at his best, when it's like a basketball game. You go up and you get it.
He tries to create those situations, and Robert Herbert, the defensive back, had a shot at it. Couldn't find it.
Coach Avery is down there as well. We have some contact on the line.
And normally, you throw to a receiver if he's open. With Basket, they don't much care if he's open because they know he's so physical and can jump so high that he can beat the other player to the ball, whether he's covered or not.
But this is another example of why you think twice about going for a 4th and short. It's like a turnover. Change momentum. New Mexico comes right back with a big play. Now watch the end of this play as Herbert gets back. He's in position, but he can't find the ball. And he can't turn around to get there. He just misses it.
Eighth touchdown of the season for Hank Basket. A guy that was told a couple of years ago that he would never play football again. He got hurt in practice in 2003, was temporarily paralyzed, had a spinal concussion, was told by doctors he would never play sports again. But he was back just a few weeks later, rehabbing, and then back on the field, and here he is with 8 touchdowns in the year and an NFL future as the PAT is good. No, it's no good. Bird missed it. He missed it. And it remains an 11-point New Mexico lead. We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A battle for second place in the Mountain West between the Lobos and the Colorado State Rams from University Stadium. Colorado State 3-1 in the league. New Mexico 3-2. Lobos have won the last 3 meetings. Colorado State has not won a road game in almost a year. 5 straight road losses, and they're down 11 here.
This game is big for Colorado State because if they can pull out a win, then they get TCU next week. They have a shot at winning the Mountain West Conference. In New Mexico, they just want to get to another bowl game and turn around their recent trend of not being able to win bowl games.
They've lost 3 bowl games in a row, but they've gone to 3 bowl games in a row. That's never happened in New Mexico history, and that's one of the ways that Rocky Long has elevated this program with players like Hank Baskett from the state of New Mexico. Now the next goal is to win that bowl game.
I thought it was interesting that Rocky Long says that, you know, his program is built on players that have a chip on their shoulder. You know, you have to know who you are. He doesn't ever see this program having the stellar, big-time recruit, but guys who have a chip on their shoulder.
That kick sails out of the end zone, and so Colorado State will start at the 20-yard line.
And that chip on their shoulder because nobody else wants them. Guys that believe they can play football at this level, but no one will give them a chance but Rocky Long. Because no one gave Rocky a chance except for New Mexico. When he was in high school, nobody offered him. And in a high school all-star game in California, a New Mexico scout was scouting other players. Rocky Long, the only high school player in that game without a scholarship offer, in New Mexico offered him. That's the kind of player they want here.
Here's Holland passing on first down. Sperry dragged down after a gain of about 3 on the play. Cody Case on the tackle. For more on Rocky Long, we bring in Stacy.
Guys, the big thing with Rocky Long is he was actually very concerned this year about the notoriety that his players were getting in Albuquerque. For the first time ever, they're doing web blogs. They're going and doing radio shows together. He told us, we're not star-studded, but we've had a few that have gained some star status over the years because of our success. But if it ever gets to their head, I'll be the first one to bring it back down, guys.
Well, Stacey, he said that's not us. He says, quote, we're tough guys who try hard. That's what we are. Not much there for Nnamdi O'Hare as he is dragged down by DeAndre Wright. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long loss on that play of 2.
But there's a practicality to what Stacey just said about Rocky Long's philosophy there. He says that they aren't going to win here with stars, so he doesn't want stars. They'll win here by working harder than everyone else with that chip on their shoulder, because he says, we aren't the ones everyone wants. We are not the chosen ones, and they win with that philosophy.
3rd down and 9 at the Colorado State 21. And Holland wasn't ready for it. Snapped over his head. O'Hare retrieves it at the 1-yard line. Good recovery by Nnamdi O'Hare. Bad snap by Nick Alata, who's been starting at center, normally at guard, but starting for the injured Albert Bimper.
Well, this can't happen. This is a big 3rd down. You're backed up, and the center and quarterback are not on the same page. This is really bad.
Well, you talked about the hostile environment here before. It looks like this was a silent snap, but the center wasn't waiting for a cadence. He thought the quarterback was ready. The quarterback wasn't.
So Kaler standing at the cusp of the back of the end zone. Fulbright, who is back in the game after going out earlier with an injury, to receive the kick if he gets it away, which he does. A liner to Fulbright at the 45. Fulbright through a seam. Tripped up at the 30-yard line, otherwise he might have had a touchdown. Travis Garcia perhaps saved his score. After the mistake, the snap over the head by Alata. New Mexico takes over at the 30.
Lots of Wi-Fi users work in coffee shops, which aren't always the best places to work. Wouldn't it be great to work wherever you wanted instead of only in hotspots? Now you can with Verizon Wireless Broadband Access. Wi-Fi only works in limited locations, while Broadband Access is the nation's largest high-speed wireless broadband network and is expanding coast to coast. Now get unlimited access at a great price, so you won't get stuck in a not-so-hot spot. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Hello, I'm home.
Hey, honey, have you seen the credit card bill?
I may have thrown it away.
And welcome back. Dontrell Moore on the run inside the 20. Moore inside the 10. 2 touchdowns for Dontrell Moore tonight. So after the bad snap by Alata, Colorado State recovers at the 1, pumps it away. Fulbright returns it to the 29. One play, and Dontrell Moore is in the end zone for the second time tonight.
And momentum leads to big plays. Momentum shifted when Colorado State went for it on 4th down at midfield and didn't get it. Since then, it's been all New Mexico.
Their last 2 plays, a 51-yard touchdown pass, and now a 29-yard touchdown run. And back-to-back missed PATs by Bird. Not very good snaps, though, on either of those. Dontrell Moore running wild for the 4th straight year on the Colorado State defense.
That and what's he done? Hey, Kim.
SSX on tour. Rated D10 for ages 10 and up.
EA Sports.
They are the kings and queens, the potentates of the road. We recognize them by their restless wing-tipped feet. We support them with new, thicker mattresses and lay the freshest fine white linens at their feet. An offering of respect. Our beds, ourselves. We've changed it all for them. Rest well, my liege. Rest well.
Good evening. At 9:17 this morning, the future arrived years earlier than predicted. The future. What is it?
High-speed internet. Faster downloads.
It's a video mail.
Digo, gracias, futuro. Puedo detener la televisión vivo y
I mean, until the aliens get here, I'm happy with the, with the high def. And the movies on demand.
There's the future, and then there's the future.
Well, which
and
one
this,
are we?
This is the future.
The future of television and internet is here. It's Comcastic.
At Rome Ford Lincoln Mercury, the difference is our people. People that set the standard for automotive sales and service, as well as service to our community. We view our community and our customers as family. And whether you're purchasing an automobile or experiencing our award-winning service department, we will always strive to meet your needs. Come see the difference our people make. Let us serve you and welcome you to our family. At Rome Ford Lincoln Mercury, we're not number 1 yet.
Dontrell Moore with his second touchdown tonight. He ties D'Angelo Williams of Memphis for the nation's lead in terms of career rushing touchdowns among active players. However, 2 missed point afters. And we got a strange score of 22-5. Don't see that every day. Another touchback as Hill will take it in. Colorado State will start again at the 20-yard line.
Take a look at the center. Ryan Cook right here. He's going to throw Smith by. And then he's going to come right back up on Landers, number 93. And block two guys on one play, right in the middle.
He didn't block two guys. He held the second guy and got away with it.
Was there a flag?
He held.
Was there a flag?
Are you praising him for holding?
There is no holding if there's no flag attached.
There you see Williams and Moore, even with 49 career rushing touchdowns, best among active Division I-A players. Williams will play Tuesday night as Memphis takes on UAB. From the 20-yard line to go back to the ground game, and Kyle Bell has about 7 or 8. Tackled by Cody Case.
Okay, I don't want to belabor the point, but in the future from now, and every time that you say, well, should he go on 4th down, I want you to remember this ball game in this moment. I mean, once Colorado State decided to go for it, everything changed. They didn't get it. That set up New Mexico. They come out, they're aggressive, they throw for a touchdown, they come out, they blitz on defense, there's a bad play, there's a big punt return, and there's another touchdown.
If they would have converted on that 4th down, would you have praised it?
No, you shouldn't be going for it. It's risky.
Here's 2nd and 2 at the 28. Holland trying to change the play quickly. Play clock at 2. Bell on the draw. Mohork stands him up right at the 30-yard line. It'll be close to the 1st down. Well, Colorado State pulled within 5, and that was because of a safety as McCaney was pressured and was called for grounding in the end zone. Automatic safety, and then the bad snap. Colorado State recovers. The next play after the punt, New Mexico scores another touchdown.
But the biggest miscue was 4th down. 4th and short and not punting.
That was 10-5 at that point. And New Mexico has run only 2 offensive plays since, and they've both gone for touchdown. So it is a 1st down, and Holland going deep. And what a throw and catch as Walker lays out and pulls it in at the 30-yard line. Fulbright had very good coverage. Walker still came up with a grab.
Oh, this is just outstanding play, actually, by everybody. Watch the man-to-man coverage here. Fulbright, he doesn't bite on the stop and go. He's in good spot, good position there, holds up, jumps too soon. Walker lays out big time.
And Rod, you said everybody, that ball dropped over his outside shoulder. Perfect throw.
And we're also seeing why many think Justin Holland is the most talented quarterback ever to play at Colorado State. 8 out of 8 for 100 yards, including 40 on that play. Back to Bell, spun down after a pickup of 2. Quincy Black on the stop.
Well, Holland is certainly gifted. He's got a strong NFL arm, not very mobile, and hasn't been productive throughout his career. This is the first year he's really settled in to being an efficient quarterback. Prior years, he would give up a lot of turnovers.
Well, you mentioned his high school days as a gunslinger, and he was actually told in high school, don't worry about throwing 2 interceptions. You'll throw 5 touchdowns. He's had to unlearn that.
Well, he's 10th in the country in pass efficiency coming into this game, so he's doing a lot right this year. On 2nd and 8, Bell again. Sports through the arms of one defender down to the 25-yard line. Marcus Parker on the tackle. 3rd down. And about 5 coming up.
Well, the other thing that Holland is doing is he's doing a great job at the line of scrimmage of recognizing where pressure is coming from and changing plays. He's going to running plays away from the pressure. He hasn't put them in a bad play.
He's doing it with a false cadence. He'll give a cadence. The defense will come up and show their blitz, and then he'll do the real cadence.
Holland out of the gun. Here come the Lobos. And Holland still completes it. Throws a dart to Corey Sperry for a 1st down at the 16-yard line. 10 yards on the play.
You see the accuracy and the arm strength. Watch him rolling to his left, throwing to his right, right on the money.
And that has to be on the money because coverage was tight.
I expect them down here in the red zone. They go back to their outside zone. They like to cut back and try to get something there. As you see the quarterback comparison, Holland's been perfect.
Only 1 incompletion tonight. That was by McCamey. He's been almost perfect. First at the 15-yard line. Bell trying to pick a hole. Rumbles to about the 14. maybe 2 yards on that pickup. We're in the land of enchantment, New Mexico. Albuquerque celebrating its 300th birthday. Dave Pash, Rod Gilmore, Trevor Madish, and Stacey Dale Schumann. New Mexico has scored on its last 2 offensive plays and leads Colorado State by 17. Battle for second place in the Mountain West.
They do like to do boot action down here when they expect pressure.
Watch David Anderson.
They hand it to Bell, and he is tripped up by a man who was on the ground. The defender, Hutchison, was on the ground, then he made the tackle. TCU 5-0. Colorado State will be in Fort Worth next week. New Mexico lost to TCU earlier this year. 3 bowl guarantees for the Mountain West: the Las Vegas, Poinsettia, and Emerald Bowls. TCU is talking with the Liberty Bowl, even though there's an at-large team that goes to that game. TCU would like to be invited. The only loss for TCU at SMU this year. Not a good loss for them. Remember, they beat Oklahoma at the beginning of the year. 3rd down and 8. Holland with time. Anderson, touchdown, Colorado State. Holland stays perfect with a perfect throw to David Anderson.
The play before, when I circled Anderson, it was because it was man coverage. Look, man coverage here, man coverage here. It's the 2nd time in a row New Mexico has done this. The first time, they ran it. The 2nd time, Holland gets the play call to get Anderson man for man in the end zone.
He could have thrown to 2 players there. He had Johnny Walker open to the 2-yard line. Extra point by the redshirt freshman Jason Smith, replacing the ineffective Kevin Mark, who missed 2 PATs last week. It's New Mexico tonight with 2 missed PATs. Meanwhile, Holland perfect to Anderson for the touchdown.
Hello, I'm home.
Hey, honey, have you seen the credit card bill?
I may have thrown it away.
My disco pants. Why? Where is it? I'm not paying a late fee.
Sometimes you can't help paying late. Avoid late fees with the new Citi Simplicity card. No late fees when you make a purchase each billing period. Citi, live richly.
I'm a singer and I got a band.
I gotta ask you how you came up with that sound. Steady like a train, sharp like a razor.
Never seen nobody play like that.
How would you refrain from performing any tunes that remind the inmates that they're in prison?
You think they forgot?
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
Walk the line.
What's with the black? It's like you're going to a funeral.
Maybe I am.
Rated PG-13, November 18th.
There's a change taking place, a wave of self-expression, and it's being driven by people with a vision to live life, not by some rule book, but on their own terms. Star Motorcycles. We build it. You make it your own. Exclusively at your Yamaha dealer.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Watch ESPN sports clips anytime on VCast. It's broadband quality video right on your phone. And the Citi Simplicity credit card. The card that treats you right.
And welcome back to Albuquerque. It is Freaky Friday, so you won't be surprised when we tell you that New Mexico has 22 plays for 222 yards and 22 points. And Justin Holland is perfect passing the football for Colorado State. He was 3 of 3 on that drive, 64 yards and a touchdown. Colorado State back within 10. New Mexico has missed 2 extra points. And Fulbright on the kick return stumbles past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Brandon Cathy on the special teams tackle. New Mexico has an excellent trio. McCamey, the quarterback, getting it done running and throwing to Hank Baskett for the basket catch for the touchdown. Dontrell Moore with 2 rushing touchdowns. He's now tied with D'Angelo Williams. most rushing touchdowns in a career by an active running back in college football. So from the 26, McCamey and the Lobo offense back on the field. They run the option. McCamey keeps. Pushed down after a gain of about 9 to the 35. Robert Herbert on the stop. As we go to the studio and check in with Reese Davis, who's going to tell us what's coming up at the half. Reese?
That is what I'm going to do, Dave. Mark May and Jim Donnan alongside. We'll talk about who's number one, differentiate between SC and Texas. Look ahead to the cocktail party and talk about some not-so-Blue Devils.
And I'll tell you about the Texas defense.
I'm going to tell you about USC. Even though they've won 29 consecutive games, they do have flaws. And Rodney, you'll believe me, they have a flaw or two.
See you guys at halftime.
Flaw would be on defense, wouldn't you say? Apparently the BCS folks think they're flawed. The computer folks, what a block as McCamey goes down. Great hit. Anthony Kilby just laying out a defender. However, a loss on the play, so it's going to bring up third down.
Wait, nobody talking about Virginia Tech at halftime? They looked pretty good the other night.
Well, they did. And USC, apparent flaws. Apparent flaws. I don't know how deep those flaws are. In the secondary, they've got some injuries, and I'm sure that's what they're going to be talking about at halftime.
There's some folks wondering if Marcus Vick is a better passer than Michael was in college. The question might be, is he a better passer than Michael is right now? Very poised and on target last night for Virginia Tech as McCamey takes off, has the first down to the 40-yard line. 7 yards in the play. Well, we mentioned as Reese in the game threw it back to us that as McCamey lost his shoe on the play, that the computer polls disagree with the other two polls that are used to compute the BCS standings. USC number 1 in both polls, but number 2 in the BCS standings as Texas takes over the number 1 spot. From the 40-yard line, first down for the Lobos. Inside running play to Moore, and does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. So it's time for our Friday night debate. Rod Gilmore, Trevor Maddich, and guys, the question is, considering we have a debate amongst voters, who's number 1? What do you guys think? USC or Texas? Who should be number 1 in the BCS standings right now? Trevor?
Oh, Ron, who should be number 1 in the standings right now is totally different from who's the best team, because there's still a lot of football to be played. USC has a much tougher schedule, and if they win out, that will help them in the computers. But I think USC is the better team and deserves to be ranked number 1 from that standpoint, just slightly. But when you look at offense and defense and special teams, I think USC has the playmaking ability slightly over what Texas has.
McCamey keeps on the option. And up to the 47-yard line. 6 yards on that play. Can't wait for this, Rod.
Well, I just think it's an unfair question. I don't think it's a good question at this point in time. The BCS is designed to give you 1 and 2 at the end. We don't have enough information. There's still a number of undefeated teams out there that we should still be talking about. Now, if you want to talk about the weekly polls, that's a different story. Who should be 1? USC, Texas, or Virginia Tech, that's a different story. But the BCS thing, it's too early for that. Let Virginia Tech play. Let Georgia, Alabama, and UCLA, let's let it play out and see what happens. There's plenty of time to get upset about the BCS.
Third down and 3. Looked like they might run that quarterback draw again, but they did not get the playoff penalty flag down.
But, Rod, between Texas and USC, between those two only, who do you think right now is the better team?
Curtis, snap, false start. 18, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Let's take a look at our All-State BCS standings, then Rod can answer that question. You're not going to get away that easily.
Well, there you see the standings there. Now, in terms of the weekly poll, here's the way I look at it. I would have USC number 1 on the weekly poll because they are the defending champs and they haven't lost. After that, I have Texas and Virginia Tech as 2A and 2A, or 2A, 2B, right next to each other, because I don't think they're going to lose.
Another penalty flag down for false start against New Mexico. It was third down and 3, but it's going to be third down and 13.
You follow me? It's pretty simple the way I look at it.
Yeah, right, and I agree with you there in terms of, I think Virginia Tech will be able to win out. But I think Texas has a stronger offensive line and running game than Virginia Tech. So if I have to rank them 2 and 3, I'll give Texas the edge because of their offensive line.
I think that's okay on a weekly basis because everything changes weekly. It's fluid. Look at Georgia. They're playing this week without DJ Shockley, and they're not the same team without him out there. I don't think anyway. So if you want to change things week to week and have discussion, that's fine. But let's not start thinking about BCS and writing off undefeated teams yet.
All right, enough of what you guys think. Let's see what the true experts have to say. You, the fan, go to ESPN.com. Keyword Friday Night Debate, and 43% of our voters, over 154,000 today, say USC, but it's pretty close. How about that? Only 8% say Virginia Tech.
Well, fans change. You know, beginning of the year, weren't people saying that USC was one of the greatest teams in the history of college football? And now we're talking about whether they should even be number 1.
Well,
am I wrong? Did that not happen?
Well, that happened, but that's part of the fun of it.
Yeah,
all we have right now is a snapshot. And unless we just push it off until the end of the season, hey, let's duke it out all the way through.
Let's go to the mailbag. Josh from Washington State says someone needs to beat the Trojans before anyone starts jumping ship to Texas. And the coaches still agree USC is tops in the nation. It'll be proven January 4th. Southern Cal wins it all. USC has Washington State this weekend.
And that'll be an interesting test for that secondary. I mean, you talk about the flaws of USC. If you want to say that they give up too many yards passing, they will be tested by Alex Brink in Washington State.
You're not serious, are you? You're not serious about that?
Absolutely.
This is a Washington State team that has struggled.
They can throw the ball, though.
Would you guys stop for a second? Ron from Austin, Texas says that the Longhorns are number 1. But they've been playing like the top dogs, and the defense has been unbelievable. How about either way, as we have another false start against New Mexico? Is this practice? That's the 3rd straight false start by the Lobos.
Prior to the snap, false start, 18
That's on
offense.
Basket again.
Timer, replace the game clock to 106. Thank you.
Are you talking about practice?
Feels like practice in the preseason, I'm sure, to Rocky Long.
That was a good mailbag, though. I enjoyed that.
Imagine, I mean, the matchup either way. If it is one of those 3 teams, or 2 of those 3 teams, USC, as you look at its schedule, and don't lose sight of that Fresno State game. As McCamey finally actually gets the play, a little shovel pass to Dontrell Moore into the secondary. And he gets the first down on 3rd and 18.
And the pass is complete to number 23, Dontrell Moore.
He has just eaten up Colorado State over the last 4 years. And he's doing it again tonight. And this is just incredible. A 3rd and forever. And guess what? He shows up.
Timeout, New Mexico. Whether it's USC Texas, USC Virginia Tech, or Texas Virginia Tech, how about the matchup at the quarterback position? Leinart against Young, or Leinart against Vick, or Vick against Young. Could be as good as we've ever had.
I think that's right, which is why I keep saying let it play out, because Virginia Tech, let's assume Virginia Tech wins out the rest of the way. That's going to be a pretty impressive schedule they will have overcome, winning the ACC and beating some top-ranked teams to get there. And that's kind of hard to ignore. So we have to wait and see what their full body of work will look like at the end of the season as you see what Texas has left, and you don't see a ranked team out there really waiting for them.
That Texas A&M game, though, is usually interesting. Sure. And it's in College Station this year. Well, after New Mexico had 3 straight false starts, Hank Baskett, the wide receiver, kept getting called for movement. On 3rd down and 18, they run a little shovel pass, and Dontrell Moore, like lightning, into the secondary, gets 19 yards to keep the New Mexico drive alive, picking up the first down. There's a big drive here if the Lobos can get some points after Colorado State came down the field and scored to cut the lead to 10.
Well, and big for Colorado State. They need to stop to get to the halftime here and stay down by 10.
We've had a safety, a couple of missed PATs in this game so far. McCamey steps up and tucks and gets to the 40. Done a really good job running the ball. Close to 10 yards on that play. That'll be just a half yard shy of the first down. Both teams with 2 timeouts left. And New Mexico going to go no huddle here. They move the chain, so it is first down. Look from there like he was a half-yard shy, but they give it to him. Apparently no need for measurement there. Option to Moore. And Moore shoves a defender aside, Terrence Carter, and gets out of bounds. Darrell Williams pushed him out. Well, that's a 260-pound defensive end that Moore just said get away.
Well, we talked about the strength, the weightlifting, how much stronger he is now. He's always had this great straight arm. We've seen that at least once or twice a year out of him. And the scouting report on him for the NFL says great vision, great cutback runner, good balance, and a great stiff arm.
Who does he remind you of, guys? Anybody in particular?
A little bit of Marshall Falk.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Same style, though, when he gets into the open field.
McCamey on 2nd and 5, gets out of trouble, has a ton of room. McCamey stays in bounds, can't get out of play. The clock will stop. New Mexico does have two timeouts remaining. Clock will stop to reset things. But again, 2 timeouts left as McCamey is running all over this Colorado State defense.
Well, McCamey was an outstanding high school receiver, and you're seeing a lot of those moves when he gets into the open field.
It's not just Dontrell Moore with rushing success against Colorado State tonight. The quarterback McCamey as well.
The Mountain West Conference believes children benefit from their involvement in sports. That's why we're dedicated to fair play and why we're bringing star sportsmanship to schools around the U.S.
Your coaches think you're missing something. Sportsmanship.
Star Sportsmanship is a role-playing computer game. With it, students learn how to think like a good sport and how to be a good sport. Teachers and coaches visit the Mountain West Conference or Learning Through Sports to learn more. Let's help our children be stars.
As a leading public research university, the University of New Mexico is on a bold course for the future.
With nationally recognized programs in healthcare, engineering, science, and the arts. It all takes place in the land of enchantment. The University of New Mexico, where great things begin with you. This message furnished by the University of New Mexico.
Cole McCamey picks up the first down running the football. Got a little help from Thomas Wilson with a block in the back there on Nathan Pauly that was not called. Guys, Colorado State allows 198 rushing yards per game. That's 103rd in the country. They've given up 184 tonight. Moore has close to 100, and McCamey is not far behind. On first down, McCamey with a pump fake, going basket, and it is incomplete. It looked like Herbert had an interception, but could not hang on to the ball.
Well, under pressure, he threw it too flat. If you want it to be a jump ball, you have to get the ball up in the air so that both guys have to jump higher than that. It was too low, and it's fortunate for New Mexico that it wasn't picked off.
Basket got his left hand in there at the last second to keep Herbert from coming up with the interception. 1 timeout remaining for New Mexico. Plenty of time, 23 seconds. Ball at the 14 of Colorado State. McCamey with a ton of time. Pass broken up in the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Brown. Garcia broke it up. 3rd and 10.
Well, he's thrown the basket a lot. This is the kind of situation that basket excels. You talk about going up for a jump ball in the red zone now. Bread and butter would be to go to Hank.
McCamey needs to be careful here. I mean, they have 3 points in their back pocket right now. And if he keeps forcing it, like he did on the other play, he might lose the ball.
12th play of this drive for New Mexico. Shovel pass to Moore. Down to the 6-yard line. Going to be a couple of yards shy of a first down. New Mexico will likely call its final timeout and set up for a field goal attempt.
That's a good call by Dan Dodd, the offensive coordinator. Went with a safe play, a chance to break it, because Moore broke one earlier, and took away the possibility of throwing a pick in the end zone. He wanted to make sure he came out of this thing with 3 points.
Colorado State receives the second half kickoff. So I think it'll take a 13-point deficit given the mistakes as Moore continues to hobble. He's productive tonight, but after the play, he didn't look like himself. He's been hobbling since the opening series. Look at the numbers, though. 2 touchdowns rushing, averaging 8 yards a pop. 2 catches, averaging 12 yards a grab. He's been hurt a lot in his career. And then tore his ACL in the Emerald Bowl last year, had surgery in February. It's been 9 months, that's it. And here's a guy overcoming an injury that normally takes about 18 months to get back to where you were before. Just ask Edgerrin James of the Indianapolis Colts. And here Moore is 9 months later, rushing for 1,000 yards for the 4th year. Only 6 players have done that, including Moore. 4 1,000 rushing yard seasons in college.
Well, he does have the strength back in his leg, but he doesn't have the same muscle size that he had before the injury. It takes a little bit longer, particularly according to the strength and conditioning staff here. They said they check him regularly, and it's getting close to even, but that leg, the thigh muscles, are still a little bit smaller than his healthy leg.
But he's had to become a better football player because of that. Because he couldn't rely just on his strength, just on his speed. He had to rely even more on technique, on leverage. And so that is what Rocky Long referenced when he said that he's a better player now than he was when he was injured.
Guys, this could get interesting here. New Mexico has already missed 2 PATs. And Kenny Bird is going to try a 25-yard field goal. He did make a 34-yarder. On the PATs, there were bad snaps. Weren't entirely his fault. Snap a little bit high, but the kick is good. So 3 more for the Lobos, and they lead by 13. Anything surprise you, guys, from what you've seen through the first half?
Well, I'm surprised that Colorado State hasn't swarmed all over Dontrell Moore. I mean, if you're going to stop one guy in this offense, you've got to stop Moore, and they haven't ganged up on him yet.
Well, it's a little hard for them to do that. He's an excellent cutback guy. Remember, you're talking about a Colorado State defense that is depleted. They've had a lot of injuries. They're playing a lot of young linebackers. They've had problems with the defensive line with injuries. They're a little bit outmanned.
Dontrell Moore in 2002 had 181 yards rushing. Then in 03 at 242 and 3 touchdowns. 154 last year. Right around 100 yards rushing tonight.
Well, you know what Sonny Lubick said? He said once that Dontrell Moore signs his NFL contract, he ought to donate some money to Colorado State, since they helped him get there.
Yeah, New Mexico will throw him a big going-away party, but Colorado State will probably throw him a bigger one.
And Moore was recruited by a lot of schools to play DB, including Colorado State. And Colorado State and New Mexico were among the finalists for his services, but Colorado State wanted him to play DB. New Mexico was going to let him play running back, so he decided to come and play for Rocky Long at New Mexico. Luke Roberts takes the kick. And Roberts going to get taken down to the 40-yard line as time expires in the first half. So Green takes it to the 40, but time expires, so Colorado State is unable to get the offense on the field or the special teams unit on the field for a long field goal attempt. And Colorado State trails by 13 to New Mexico at halftime as we go to the studio in Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, looked as if we were going to have a slugfest there for a while. A little offense at the end. Mark Main, Jim Donnan alongside. We'll talk a little football in just a bit. But first, college basketball. And UConn, which has all kinds of point guard issues, will be without A.J. Price for the entire year. University announcing that as part of their decision and his punishment for trying to sell stolen laptops, point guard will be suspended for the year. However, Marcus Williams, who was a starting point guard on the team last year, will be allowed to return in December. UConn is number 2. They trail Duke in the polls. Duke has 4 starters back from last year's team led by J.J. Redick, an early favorite to be player of the year. They are number 1 in the ESPN USA Today coaches poll, ahead of the Huskies at number 2. Tracy McGrady, the NBA season opens up next week. He's going to be questionable. Got problems with his knees and hip. See if he'll be able to go Wednesday night against the Kings. The White Sox, they won the World Series. First time since 1917, and Ozzie Guillen would be back next year. He'd said earlier in the season that perhaps if they won it, maybe he'd be done with the White Sox as the manager. And speaking of managers, could it be that Michael Jack Schmidt will be the next Devil Rays manager? Way too early to decide yet, but Schmidt did interview and said afterwards he didn't think he hurt his chances for getting that position. Still to come here at halftime, we'll turn our attention top of the polls. Rod Gilmore says it's too early to argue BCS, but we can still argue who exactly is number one. Could it be Vince Young? Maybe they surpassed Matt Leinart and the Trojans. We'll hash it out when we get back.
Singular customers, text City to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
What's going on, Daddy? Can I borrow the car?
It's a school night.
Come on, please. Yo, I promise to take my girl out. How about now?
Surrender to the mesmerizing taste of Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt. A big bacon cheeseburger made fresh, smothered in mushrooms and a creamy, dreamy cheddar cheese sauce.
It is way past your curfew.
You are grounded, young man. How about now?
Give in to Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt. Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right.
You love the NFL. You live for the NFL. To you, the NFL is life itself. And ESPN News is your never-ending source for NFL news, highlights, scores, and stats. With shows like The Blitz and Monday Quarterback.
Successful quarterbacks watch coverage. They do not watch their receivers.
Live press conferences, deep analysis.
They play football the way it's supposed to be played.
All things NFL 24/7. Find it at ESPN News.
I get up every morning. I'm excited to come to CSU.
I love CSU's campus. I like the people that I met. I felt at home here right the first time I ever came up here. I chose CSU because I think that the faculty are great. They really do care about the success of their students.
There are so many unique things that you could take advantage of at this university, and it's in a very comfortable setting.
It's the place you want to graduate from. I chose Colorado State.
PGA Tour's All-Star Finale returns to East Lake November 1st through 6th. Tickets are on sale now.
Not all car insurance companies require a big down payment.
I just couldn't understand why every insurance company wanted such a big down payment.
How was I going to afford that and then make the monthly payments? Did they
think I was made of money?
I finally called Acceptance Insurance and got the lowest down payment of all.
I got the car insurance I needed.
Acceptance made it easy and affordable.
Don't pay too much for your car insurance when you don't have to. Call Acceptance and see how we can get your car insurance started today.
Is putting on here today.
We have separation by, let's see, let me do my math here, 7/1000ths of a point. Texas is number one in the BCS standings presented by Allstate. You see a lot of decimal points for Virginia Tech to make up, but for the time being, I know Rod Gilmore made a great point in the first half. The BCS standings, they're designed to be right at the end, to give us the top two teams if they have to differentiate among teams with similar resumes to play in the national championship game. For our purposes here, if you evaluate Texas and USC, what do you think of Texas? Are they better than USC? Even by hair?
They're close, but I don't really, my cohort here, hey, I don't think they are, but their defense is. And I'm going to talk a little bit about their defense. And Mac Brown told me this week that he's really excited about the way they chase the ball. He's got the Outland Trophy candidate Roderick Wright here running around. They got great defensive guys chasing the ball like Aaron Harris and Michael Huff, and very physical defense under Gene Chizik. And I think in a game like that for the national championship, a team that can stop the other one has a little bit of an advantage. And I certainly think that Texas defense has just a little edge against this USC defense.
This sounds to me like he just picked Texas to win the national championship. Is that what he picked?
I think he did. Well, they're not playing tonight, but I'm taking USC, and I'm sticking with USC. They are the two-time defending national champions, won 29 straight. To me, in order to be the champ, you've got to beat the champ. But they do have flaws. And Reese Davis, on punt coverage, what do you have to do?
Stay in your lane.
What did USC not do?
They did not stay in their lanes, Mark.
And guess what? Look at the huge punt.
Come on, Tom Malone.
Come on, Malone, get him. He's going to go right to the edge.
In front of the ball.
In for the score. Same thing. Let's give another chance.
One step, wrap, two step, and squeeze, Tom.
Break down.
Catch him, catch him. That's one flaw that they have to shore up is their special teams coverage, particularly on punt coverage. But look at Jeff Samardzija right here against Justin White. He's going to out-jump him on this ball. He elevates so high, heck, he can eat popcorn off his forehead. Look how high he is over that wide receiver, that defensive back right there. That's one of the problems that USC has. One, special teams coverage that they'll correct, and the other one is in their defensive secondary. Now, I know they've had a lot of injuries there, but they are still 92nd in the country in pass defense.
You know, the biggest game of this week was last night, Virginia Tech and Boston College, and the Hokies looked terrific. How do you stack them up right now? I'm not talking computers, but in your mind, do they have a chance to pass one of these two teams without SC or Texas losing?
No. They're playing fantastic football right now, Coach, and I think they may have the edge on special teams over both of these teams, but right now I still think it's USC number 1, Texas number 2. That's the way I started the season. I could change my mind if one of these two teams staggered down the stretch, but right now it's still USC number 1, Texas number 2.
Very impressive on all sides of the ball last night, and I think the fact that Marcus Vick is coming on so strong at the end of the year gives them a little edge in this big game against Miami next week, but there's too much discrepancy between 1, 2, and 3 right now in the polls.
Well, you beat Boston College and Miami and maybe Florida State in the ACC championship game.
Here.
And it's hard. I know, but I'm just saying. That's
right now, we're talking about today.
Reason.
Who's number 1 in your mind today? Tonight.
At this moment?
Today and tonight is at this moment.
SC by a hair. Okay. I think all three of them. You can't make a definitive argument for any of the three. What does that all in a hat? They're all really close.
But still, USC's defending champions. Until someone defeats them, they should stay number 1.
A lot of those guys are gone, Mark.
It doesn't matter. A lot of those guys are back.
Where's Lofa Tatupu? There's no Lofa Tatupu on this
team. Where's Reggie Bush? Where's Matt Lyon?
He's still there. Yeah, they're still there. Georgia's still got a lot of guys there, but this one won't be there. And the cocktail party tomorrow afternoon, Joe Tereshinski trying to lead the Dogs. We'll visit Jacksonville in a bit.
Not again.
Star, you ain't gonna believe this. I was tearing up the streets and swapping paint with the LA Heat. West Coast Customs juiced my ride. Yo, I was busting shortcuts and catching killer air. This city ain't ever gonna look the same. LA Rush, available now. Rated T for teen.
That's all checks and balances, Dave. It's going to be a good meeting.
Scott, we got traffic ahead. Can you suggest an alternate route? Scott, will this exit get us around traffic? Scott, do I bear left or right?
I don't know.
To find your way easily around traffic, remember it's TomTom, not Scott. Just tap on the screen and a helpful voice guides you where you're going on time. TomTom is your portable, everyday GPS solution.
Nothing outperforms Gillette M3 Power Nitro. Push the button and feel the boost in performance. Gillette's battery-powered motor sends micropulses to the patented Power Glide blades. Get unsurpassed comfort and the world's best shave. M3 Power blows away the competition. You'll be blown away or Gillette will give you your money back, guaranteed. Try Gillette M3 Power, the world's best shave, or your money back.
Why do great student-athletes come to the Mountain West? Is it for the hiking? Is it for the climbing? Or is it for the cool, clean air at the top of the world?
The tap for the jam.
The Mountain West Conference, above the rest.
Georgia and Florida meet tomorrow in Jacksonville in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. No DJ Shockley for the Dogs. Joe Tereshinski steps in, and he didn't have to forego all of his academic pursuits this week. Tereshinski had a risk management test. No truth to the rumor that Mark Richt slipped into the test and inserted this question: how much risk do you take against Florida, Joe? None. Don't lose the game. Chris Fowler and the Game Day gang in Jacksonville.
Barring an overnight miracle to the injured knee, DJ Shockley, most efficient passer in the SEC, replaced by Joe Tereshinski, making his first career start. Now, he was 5 of 9, running a very conservative attack against Arkansas the last 3 quarters of that game last week. But this is a whole different deal now against Florida. Florida's used their bye week to heal up a bit. Chris Leak says his shoulder's now 100%. Some other Gators coming back on the field, and they hope heal emotionally. Because when we last saw Florida, a gut-wrenching loss at LSU that really shook up the confidence of Leak and the entire team. So we'll see if they got over that, shed some tears, and they're back and ready to go. And in Gainesville, they're still preparing like Shockley might miraculously come out in the field. I don't know, but I would expect to see Tereshinski in a pretty conservative attack, wouldn't you?
Forget about Shockley. Tereshinski's the quarterback, but the key to this ball game, in my mind, is the play of the Florida offensive line. Why? They've had 24 sacks this year. You know what? 18 have come from the outside. So you know what that means? That means that Georgia are going to come like crazy from the outside and try to get to Chris Leak. Don't be surprised, Kirk, if Urban Meyer doesn't play a tight end in this game and maybe even 2 backs to help that pass protection in a running formation and run the football. I wouldn't be shocked if he did that.
Maximum protection
Thank
when they
you.
throw and running
Yes,
the
sir.
football, because Quentin Moses on the outside can bring that kind of pressure for Georgia. My opinion, this key to the game on the other side of the ball for the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's talk about Tereshinski coming in for DJ Shockley in a conservative game plan. Georgia playing to their strength, which they will do in running the ball. But for them to have success in this football game, at some point, they've got to take some chances off play-action passes. Look for Leonard Pope down the middle of the field. Look for Bailey on the outside, Massaquoi on the outside. They have to try to stretch the Gator defense, Chris, even if they don't connect. Just the threat of that to try to open up the running game so they can try to find some seams running the football. You can't be too conservative with the backup quarterback.
It is the SEC, though. We've seen nothing but bumps and bruises and conservative game plans and low-scoring games, and that trend figures to continue. Kirk, start with you. An undefeated team. With your Hokies already in a clubhouse waiting for Miami. The undefeated team, most an upset alert on Saturday.
I would say it is Georgia. I think that Georgia coming into this game, because of the concern with Shockley, if they do get too conservative, I think Florida's good enough on defense, and I think Leak can get protection and he can make some plays. Georgia, of all the unbeatens, has the most at stake and the most of a fear factor coming into the games this weekend.
And if I'm not mistaken, Georgia, the only undefeated team that's an underdog. They're no longer the 4th-ranked team in the nation. Without Shockley, I'm telling you what, UCLA, you better watch out. You're playing Stanford, at Stanford, right? You split 3-3 with these guys, and the home team has won every time. I'm telling you, watch out, watch out. UCLA's defense is really iffy. It could stick them to them this week against Stanford.
Stanford, 3 straight games with no turnovers. No Bruin players ever won a game in the Bay Area. I agree. Tricky trap.
With that defense at UCLA,
Aren't they all?
every game's a chance.
Join us, College Game Day, from just outside the big cocktail party, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
All right, guys, look forward to it. Joe Tereshinski, this is a dream for him, Jim. I mean, you slice open his arm and little bulldogs crawl out of there instead of just blood. I mean, he loves the red and black. How big a deal is it? How much offense can Georgia run with him at the helm?
Yeah, I think they can run a lot. I had a chance to talk to Mark Richt today about it, and he's going to run his offense with Joe T under center. And I think what he's going to do is utilize a guy that's pretty athletic. He can bounce around in the pocket, and I got to see him run the option in high school. He's not real fast, but he's very physical, and he's a good athlete and an accurate passer. I think tomorrow the big deal for him, like you said, is protect the football, get the ball to the right guy, get them in and out of the right play, and let your defense win the game, which Georgia's defense has been stout this year.
Yeah, he's going to have a tough time against that defense, and not only that, if you look at the Florida defense, their 5th in total defense, they have caused 21 turnovers this season and 23 sacks. That's going to be the test for this Georgia offensive line. But not only that, I think if you look on the other side of the ball at Florida on their offense, it's their mental state. They only got 17 points off of 5 turnovers against LSU. They've had a bye week since then. I think the key is mentally they have to get these players to believe in this Urban Meyer system. They worked on techniques. They worked on fundamentals during the bye week. Can the players, and particularly Chris Leak, carry that over until this Georgia game?
Yeah, Florida also trying to spoil Georgia's hopes of taking care of the SEC East, punching their ticket to Atlanta. They'd have a lead on the field, all the tiebreakers, be on their way to the SEC championship game if they can beat the Gators on Saturday. Big Ten, meanwhile, though, it's going to take a little longer to sort that thing out. Michigan and Northwestern, we'll see it 7 o'clock Eastern Time in HD on ESPN. And Northwestern offense, if you haven't seen it, you ought to check it out. High power.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Mambo Italiano, you must go, 'cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
See that kid? The one dreaming of serving his country? That jarhead is me.
Saddam Hussein has just said the mother of all battles is upon us.
God, show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down.
I thank God for every day that he gives me in the Corps. Ooh,
Jarhead, rated R, November 4th. Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Mambo Italiano, you must go, 'cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
The finest traditions of community banking are alive and well at Unity National Bank. Here, people make the difference in service, in solutions, and in responsiveness. We share a common instinct to go the extra mile, to find the right answers, and to deliver each with a level of service that lets you know your business is appreciated. It's our brand of banking, in a style that is uniquely ours to offer. In a world of mega banks, isn't it nice to simply count on people who stand ready to give you their best?
Need furniture? The place to go is Spears Furniture in Rome. We've got a great selection of quality furniture at affordable prices. Come check out Leather Gallery, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and so much more. No one sells for less. We're ready to help you find the furniture of your dreams. So stop by today. That's Spears Furniture and Mattress Max on Chatillon Road in Rome. 706-234-7100.
Perhaps you've heard some say that less is more. Sometimes that's not true. Dontrell is more. Los Lobos, 25-12.
It's the 25th anniversary of Pizza Hut Pan Pizza.
And there's only one way to celebrate 25 years. Pan pizza for 25 cents. Just buy any large specialty pizza at menu price and you'll get a medium one-topping pan pizza for $1.
Earth, wind, fire. As a man, your face gets battered by the elements. Now fight back with Gillette Skincare. From the people who know a man's face best. Just wash, shave, protect. 3 simple steps for healthier looking skin. So brave the elements with Gillette Skincare, and your face will stand up to almost anything. Gillette Skincare, the best a man can get.
People have been waiting for this game for a long time. In fact, the fans are already out in force. The marching band is here as well. Coming up on the countdown to kick off their game.
Football. Are you in good hands?
It's the 25th anniversary of Pizza Hut Pan Pizza.
And there's only one way to celebrate 25 years. Pan pizza for 25 cents. Just buy any large specialty pizza at menu price and you'll get a medium one-topping pan pizza for $1.
Back Back in Albuquerque as we get you ready for the start of the third quarter. New Mexico leads Colorado State by a score of 25-12. Dave Pass, Rod Gilmore, Trevor Maddich, and Stacey Dale Schumann. And guys, the big three did it for New Mexico offensively in that first half as the Lobos had over 300 yards total offense. Cole McCamey, the quarterback, Dontrell Moore, the running back, and Hank Baskett, the wide receiver, were terrific.
Yeah, and that's what really sprung that running game, was Baskett's ability to make plays on the ball in the air and McCamey's ability to run. Let Baskett and the receivers drive the secondary deep. That opens up the middle for Dontrell Moore. And all three of those guys hitting the various sides of the field has spread that defense out. Well, Colorado State set that up with a 4th down at midfield. They didn't get it. It changed the momentum for the game. They had a mishap on a snap. That led to a New Mexico score. And essentially, that's your ball game, first half. That changed everything around.
You look at the big three's numbers. McCamey with 120 passing yards to go along with 48 rushing yards. Moore at 99 rushing yards. Gone over 1,000 for the season. And Baskett with 87 receiving yards and a touchdown. New Mexico rushed for 184 yards. That half, Colorado State ran for 32 yards. But their quarterback, Justin Holland, was perfect. 10 out of 10, 124 yards and a touchdown. If he can get it going, who knows what will happen here in the second half. Colorado State will get the ball first, so we'll find out. Kenny Bird booted away. Bird has kicked it out of the end zone several times tonight and will do it again. Colorado State will start at the 20. We mentioned some of the first half numbers. Let's take a look at all of them. Mexico only had the ball for 12:40. 6 penalties, only one by Colorado State, but dominance in terms of rushing yards, total yards, and a 13-point lead.
Well, the yards after catch is a really big statistic for Colorado State. They haven't had much. They've got to get Anderson involved so he can catch and run with the ball.
In case you're wondering, the school record at Colorado State is 17 straight completions by Scooter Molander back in 1987. Holland is 10 out of 10. They run Bell on first down, and he gets about 3. Stacey had a chance to talk with both head coaches before the third quarter.
Well, Dave, Rocky Long was his cool, business-like self at the half. He told me we can't give up a long ball like we did once in the first half. We've got to keep Kyle Bell wrapped up, and we obviously can't miss extra point opportunities. As for Sonny Lubick, too many big plays, especially on the ground. Got to contain him on the inside, and his boys were fired up in the tunnel, guys.
Well, Morris averaged 192 yards, Stacey, in 3 games career against Colorado State and had 99 in the first half. George Hill with a nice move, finally dragged down by Sealander a couple of yards shy of the marker to bring up third down.
This is what Colorado State needs to do. They only had 32 rushing yards, even though they ran it 21 times and only threw it 10. So in the first half, the running game in 21 attempts was completely stuffed. The passing game, however, Holland 10 for 10. I can see Sonny Lubick in this offense adjusting to throw the ball more because the running game has been stopped.
How much confidence does he have in the running game right now? Their tendency is to run off tackle on 3rd and short.
Well, remember, they did have minus 18 rushing yards because of that bad snap over the head of the quarterback. And they do run it on 3rd down, and Bell is not going to get it. Quincy Black comes up with a play, and Joe Sealander there as well for New Mexico. 3 and out for Sonny Lubick's squad.
Or at some point, it's got to dawn on them that New Mexico's defense is stacked inside. They're getting a lot of opportunities with man coverage on the perimeter to those wide receivers, but they're handing the ball off anyway.
Jimmy Kaler, who wears the same number as the quarterback, Justin Holland, will boot it away to Gabriel Fulbright. Fulbright had a pretty good return in the first half that set up a touchdown. Fulbright muffed it at the 24-yard line. Colorado State has it. Robert Herbert comes up with it after the muff punt by Fulbright.
Oh, the officials don't agree.
And now they're giving it back to New Mexico. Well, Herbert came out of there with the ball. Herbert had the ball. Unless they said that it was a tie, and so they gave it to the offensive team. Fulbright, yeah, it looks like Herbert had it.
No.
And they're going to challenge this. This is the only league, the Mountain West Conference, in which we have the ability for a coach to throw a red challenge flag. So a technical advisor upstairs can also call down to the on-field referee signaling a review. Sonny Lubick is going to throw the flag here. There has to be conclusive evidence to overturn the ruling on the field.
Colorado State is challenging that the ball was fumbled by the receiver.
Now, did you see the hesitancy with the officials down there? That's one of the things you get with replay. They waited a long time before deciding to give the ball to New Mexico. And I think you can tell by that replay, that's pretty conclusive. That's Colorado State's ball.
Well, when you look at Fulbright's arms, they will be fully extended away from his body. Herbert has the ball tucked into his chest. That is absolutely not a tie.
If Lubick wins this challenge, he will get to keep his flag, so he can call for another replay. However, if he loses this challenge, it'll cost him a timeout. He will not be able to call for a replay by throwing a red challenge flag for the rest of the game unless we go to overtime.
Well, because the replay booth can call down at any time to stop play for a challenge, you find coaches in the Mountain West holding on to that red flag and waiting until the last instant before they throw it and commit it. And that time, Cole McCamey was trying to get a playoff, and that's why he threw the flag. But take a look here. Herbert has the ball in his chest. Fulbright is going to reach out with his arms. And for it to be a tie, they both have to have equal possession, and that is by no means equal possession.
Well, it's hard to tell. The replay does not really make it conclusive. It's close. It looks like it.
Really? You don't think so?
I don't think it's conclusive based on the replay.
It looked clear to me that the ball was caught or picked up by Herbert.
Let's see from this replay whether Herbert has full control and Fulbright has no control.
He's got the ball. He's on
there
top.
It is. Okay, there it is.
He's on top of it.
Yep, he's got it right there. You can see it. So that angle right there was the best angle we had, and now it is conclusive. I didn't see that angle.
Look, I saw that before.
All right.
You need all these angles. It's pretty clear.
I know you love replay, Rod. This is going to be interesting to see if they now uphold this.
You have a clear one. It still takes you 3 minutes to get it right.
Well, they had to look at all the angles.
Ruling on the field, the receiver muffed the ball, never had possession. Colorado State recovered the ball. 1st and 10, Colorado State.
So that's the right call. Now, see, replay is good, Rod. They got it right. And Sonny Lubick gets his red challenge flag back.
And had it not been resolved in his favor, the official would have kept the flag, and he would not have it for the rest of the half.
Come on, Rod. Admit it. Instant replay works there. We've had 25 red challenge flags thrown this year in the Mountain West. 29% of instant replay plays this year have been overturned.
Well, they got it right. It was pretty obvious. I don't know why it took them so long. I don't know why they didn't make the right call in the first place.
So Colorado State takes over at the 25-yard line. Holland finds Anderson. And Anderson gets to the 15-yard line for 9 yards. Quincy Black on the tackle.
There's the adjustment, Rod. Hit the receivers outside. Now this is why Colorado State has the ball. This was originally called New Mexico ball, but clearly here Herbert has got it. So replay reversed it, gave it to Colorado State.
See, I think the officials were waiting for replay, and that's why they waited so long to make the call in the first place. They didn't want to be on the line.
Or perhaps nobody knew exactly who had the ball. It was hard to tell. Bell going to get taken down to the backfield. They lose yardage in 2nd and 1 as Marcus Parker comes up with a big play from the nose position.
One of the things that Colorado State likes to do down in this area, when they expect blitz, they like to move Holland outside. They like to do a half roll or a bootleg and get him outside so he can look into the end zone and throw the ball.
They lost 3 yards in that play. They tried to run on 3rd down and 3 or 4 last time and didn't get it.
Pressure's coming from there.
Here it comes. It's picked up. Holland nearly throws an interception. Quincy Black should have had it. First incompletion for Holland, and it's nearly a pick.
Well, coming right at you. He's looking that way the whole time. Never looks the opposite direction. The coverage was rolled to that side. If he'd have looked to his right, he had Sperry and Anderson on man coverage.
And Colorado State is going to go for it on 4th down and 4.
Now, this could be a product of their lack of confidence in their kicking game, because this would be about a 30, 20, 36-yard field goal.
Only one incompletion. It was on that last pass that was nearly intercepted by Black. Holland pressured on 4th and 4, sacked. Mike Mulhora comes up with the stop, and New Mexico takes over.
All 11 defenders are up at the line of scrimmage. This is a complete and utter all-out blitz, leaving man behind it, and the blitz got there. Mike Mulhora.
Colorado State 0 for 2 on 4th down. New Mexico 20 sacks on the year. The last 5 years they've led the conference in sacks, 3rd in the league this year. And it's back to Dontrell Moore. And he goes nowhere. In fact, lost a yard in the play.
You know, at this point, since he has been limping, I don't know that they shouldn't have him down there on the exercise bike staying loose and keep him out of the game for now.
Their backup is Adrian Byrd, who coming into the year was their backup fullback. Byrd is a senior, but they're sticking with Moore. 2nd and 11. McCamey with a pump and the go. And Basket got tangled up with Robert Herbert. No penalty flag, so it's 3rd and 11.
Well, they may go back to Dontrell Moore on 3rd down because he's a big-time player. See what he did tonight with a run in the first quarter that got him 1,000 yards for the 4th time in his career with guys like this. Tony Dorsett, that name jumps out at you. Ron Dane, Heisman Trophy winner. Cedric Benson. Amos Lawrence, famous Amos.
Pretty good company for Dontrell Moore. Moore right around 100 yards rushing tonight. He's averaged a $192 in his career against Colorado State. McCamey pressured and gonna get sacked. Back at the 17-yard line, Courtney Jones comes up with the sack for Colorado State, forcing a punt.
Watch Dontrell Moore step over to pick up part of the blitz. He does, but there's more coming from the other side. Courtney Jones comes across and gets part of the face mask, it looked like, but that wasn't flagged either.
Yeah, Coach Shaver should have gotten called for a penalty there. He grazed the mask of McCamey. Johnny Walker will get set to receive the punt from Tyler Goss.
That was the best defensive set for Colorado State tonight.
Might be the first punt of the night for New Mexico. It is indeed the first punt of the night. Walker ripped down to the 43. Not much there in the return. Tackled by Marcus Smith. So a battle for 2nd place in the Mountain West on Route 66 between Colorado State and New Mexico, and the Lobos lead by 13.
The Denny's PBA Tour begins Sunday at 1 on ESPN.
Prove you're the best of the battlefield and take home $250,000. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Rated T for teen.
Void in a number of states and where prohibited. For eligibility requirements and complete tournament rules, go to battlefield.ea.com.
my gosh, it's so thin.
Wow, that is thin.
Thin, 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 thin.
And so cheesy.
And totally square.
Who delivered?
It's not delivery.
Introducing DiGiorno Thin Crust. Crispy golden crust loaded with your favorite toppings. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Thin.
I love when it's thin.
Back in Albuquerque, New Mexico leading Colorado State 25-12. Rams take over after forcing the first punt of the night by the Lobos from their 42-yard line. They've got O'Hare in the backfield, and he'll get the call on first down. Slammed down for no gain. Mike Mohoric, who came with a big sack on fourth down for New Mexico the last time Colorado State had the ball, made the play on defense. David Anderson with a handful of catches tonight. And 3,167 receiving yards, passes Greg Primus for #1 all time, and he's one reception shy of tying Primus for the school record for catches in a career.
I don't know how much they can look to him right now, because I think the wind is picking up and becoming a factor in the passing game for Colorado State. I think they're throwing into it.
Maybe that's why they didn't kick that field goal the last time they had the ball down around the 25-yard line. Play fake. Howland pressured again. Sacked again. This time it's Adam Gardale.
Trevor, yesterday Jose Lewis, the defensive coordinator, told us that Holland isn't very mobile. He wanted to get after him.
And he's working against a tight end here. That's Matt Bartz. And Gardea, defensive end, just drives him back into Holland.
That's why so many teams like to go to mobile quarterbacks to give them a chance. As you take a look at Lewis right there, the defensive coordinator, works with Rocky Long, has been with them for a long time. They like to get after the quarterback when he has no mobility.
Third down and 23. Holland has Walker wide open. He's got the first down and fights his way to the 45.
Now that was a throw. He threw that thing into the teeth of a wind, and it was a strike, just a strike down the middle of the field.
And it was a good read. They've been blitzing him. This time they don't blitz him. They sit back in a cover 2 zone.
Look at that ball. And he's throwing into the wind, and that thing was just on a straight line.
Threw for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns last week in a win over Wyoming. As you see the wind here in Albuquerque, it's picked up over the last 45 minutes. CSU in New Mexico territory. Play fake, and Holland again goes deep middle and finds Walker inside the 30. Another bullet. Fulbright on the coverage.
You believe in that? This man, he's got an arm. Gosh.
And he's keeping the ball low, out from the wind, because up high, that wind is blowing. Down low, it swirls and it gusts. Sometimes it's harsh, sometimes it's not. 14 of 15. He's picking his spots almost perfectly.
That thing is just cutting right through it. Man.
O'Hare on the carry. Mohoric with another play. Gain of about 2 there. O'Hare getting the bulk of the work here in the third quarter at running back. Don't know if Bell is banged up at all for Colorado State, but O'Hare has been out there at running back.
And O'Hare obviously is the transfer from UCLA. Larry Kerr, the former defensive coordinator at Colorado State, who moved on to UCLA, recommended that O'Hare come to Colorado State when he was thinking about transferring.
There's Kyle Bell on the bench for now. 2nd and 7 at the 26 of New Mexico. Colorado State has won 4 out of 5 after an 0-2 start. New Mexico has won 2 straight after 3 consecutive losses. And we have a whistle. Battle for second place in the Mountain West. TCU at 5-0.
Timeout. Colorado State. It's the first charge timeout this half.
So 2 timeouts remaining for Sonny Lubin.
You talk about O'Hare, Rod, and at UCLA, they wanted him to play defensive back. He started there as a freshman at defensive back, but he wanted a chance to play running back. And you talk about Kerr, he was an assistant at UCLA, moved over to Colorado State. It was a natural transition for O'Hare.
As we mentioned, the wind has picked up here over the last 45 minutes. Let's just see how difficult it is for Colorado State by checking in with Stacy down on the sideline.
Well, Dave, the wind has picked up down here on the field, but it's not as bad as outside of this university stadium. It's kind of calm, actually. It comes in gusts. And actually, speaking with some of the fans around here, they're calling for snow tomorrow here in Albuquerque. It's 61 degrees, gotten a little bit cooler for the players. So some of them are starting to ride on the bikes, but there is a cold front. I'm not a weather girl, guys, but the cold front is coming in. And this could be a factor for these players as the game continues.
Well, you may not be one, but you're playing one on TV tonight. Did a pretty good job of that there. Snow in Albuquerque in October?
We're at 5,000 feet elevation. Colorado State's about 4,000 feet, so actually they're playing higher than they're used to.
Sonny Lubin, people forget, Colorado State had 10 straight winning seasons, and 4 of those were at least 10-win seasons. But last year, 4-7. They're 4-3 this year, trying to avoid 500. Anderson makes some moves and has the first down to the 18-yard line. Got 8 on that play and picks up the first down. Quincy Black on the tackle.
What's going on right now is that New Mexico is bringing a blitz from the wide side of the field, and Holland is recognizing it and starting to change his plays and go another way away from the blitz. Rocky Long is going to find out with Lewis, well, we're going to have to tweak that a little bit because Holland has kind of gotten into that rhythm of looking to the wide field for the pressure.
Fresh set of downs inside the 20-yard line. Holland has been near perfect tonight. O'Hare remains in the game at tailback. Not much running room at all. Cody Case leads the charge there defensively for New Mexico. Saturday night, college football primetime presented by Polaroid features a showdown in the Big Ten. Northwestern, which has come alive thanks to Brett Bazinet and company, taking on Michigan. It's also available in high definition on ESPN HD.
I tell you, the Big Ten is a lot more balanced than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be this year.
There's Kyle Bell on the sideline still with O'Hare in the game. On 2nd and 9. More pressure. Mahork there again with a sack for New Mexico. Mahork has been all over the field here in the 3rd quarter.
Now that's on Holland. He's got to get rid of that ball. He held that ball too long. You are in position to get points. You cannot take the sack. If your guys are covered, you throw it away.
And Mahork, a great example of what Rocky Long's doing here. He was a walk-on. Earned his way into the starting position. Was now this year preseason all-conference selection. And he's the poster boy. He's the guy on their poster.
2 sacks in this quarter for Mahork. He's from here in Albuquerque. 3rd and 17. And Holland unloads, and it's broken up. Great play in the secondary by Jamar Hall. He came over the top, or make that Malone. He came over the top and broke up the pass intended for Anderson. Jarrell Malone with a nice play there, and it's 4th and 17, and they will come on and try a long field goal.
Well, Rod, you talked about them bringing pressure from the field side. They did it again that time, and Holland went to the opposite direction again.
42-yard attempt for the redshirt freshman Jason Smith. Only his 2nd ever field goal attempt. He made his first earlier tonight. And he's 2 for 2. And that pulls Colorado State within 10. 25-15 is our new score. 4:41 to go in Albuquerque in the 3rd.
The NBA on ESPN returns. Sixers Pistons. Followed by Lakers Nuggets. Doubleheader coverage begins Wednesday at 7 on ESPN.
Singular customers text CITY to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
It's the strongest, most innovative full-size pickup and the only one to earn both government 5-star and IIHS Best Pick Front Crash ratings.
There's magic in my eyes. I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and
Silver Star, high-performance headlights from Sylvania. See the world in a new light.
Nothing outperforms Gillette M3 Power Nitro. Push the button and feel the boost in performance. Gillette's battery-powered motor sends micropulses to the patented Power Glide blades. Get unsurpassed comfort and the world's best shave. M3 Power blows away the competition. You'll be blown away or Gillette will give you your money back, guaranteed. Try Gillette M3 Power, the world's best shave, or your money back.
Former walk-on Mike Mahork has had a huge third quarter. 2 sacks and a tackle for a loss. Colorado State did manage a field goal on that drive to pull within 10. 4:41 to play in the third. Now Mark to boot it away from the 35. Fulbright awaits at the 13. Knocked down at the 26-yard line.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by the new 2006 Ford Explorer. The best Explorer ever. And Silver Star high-performance headlights from Sylvania. Wouldn't you want 2 of the safest headlights on Earth?
We're on Route 66 here in Albuquerque. Celebrating its 300th birthday. This is only the 7th year of the Mountain West Conference, and these 2 schools are usually contenders for a top spot. The pitch to Travis Brown, and he's going to lose a handful. Brought down to the 20. Jesse Nading has made a lot of plays in the opponent's backfield tonight. New Mexico has won the last 2 meetings with Colorado State after 5 consecutive losses. Colorado State at 3-1, New Mexico at 3-2, and the Lobos each of the last 3 years have been 5-2, finishing in second place each year and going to a bowl game. Colorado State won only 4 games last year after 10 straight winning seasons. Colorado State plays at TCU next week and controls its own destiny in the Mountain West. An errant pass by McCamey intended for Basket. It'll bring up 3rd down and 12. Herbert with coverage on Basket.
Well, New Mexico is out of rhythm offensively. Colorado State's turned it up. New Mexico had their most success in the first half when they were running a 2 tight end set. They've gone to more spread in the third quarter here, and they haven't had as much success.
Not seen a lot of Dontrell Moore in this quarter. And the offensive coordinator here in Albuquerque. 3rd down and 12 from the 24. McCamey with time. And he throws an interception to Travis Garcia. Garcia knocked down by McCamey inside the 20.
Now you just had the feeling that the rhythm wasn't there in their offense. And McCamey forces one here. There's Garcia just sitting. He's robbing the curl area, just waiting. And he's right there. McCamey never saw him. Garcia never backed up. He was playing a robber position to kind of rob that route over the middle.
He robbed it. 3rd pick of the year for Garcia, the converted running back in his 2nd year as a safety. Steve Stannard in his 2nd year as defensive coordinator at Colorado State. They lead the conference in takeaways. They came up with a recovery and a muffed punt earlier this quarter. Now an interception, and Holland back to the air. Looking for 6, but that pass nowhere near Anderson, incomplete.
But I like the call. They get a turnover. They go for a touchdown on the next play. you look at their last 4 possessions, at least they got a touchdown in there.
Well, they also picked up 3 points on their last possession. And the real important thing for Colorado State here is to protect Holland. The last couple times they were down here in the red zone, they had sacks. They couldn't protect it.
Mike Mahorek has sacked him twice. Bell is back into the game at running back.
They like to run a zone cutback with him in this area.
And he gets hit from behind, but the power and the muscle to keep fighting for yards. We saw that a lot in the first half. First look at it here in the second half, he got 7 on the play, just carrying Lobos with him.
And that's important because that leaves them with 3rd and short. If they would have thrown the ball incomplete there, it would have been 3rd and 10. Now this is a makeable first down, or they could even go for the end zone.
And they run Bell a lot in this situation. Would you guys here, or would you look for Anderson in the air?
No, I'd roll Holland out in this situation.
Corey Sperry's been very quiet tonight. Their outstanding H-back/tight end.
And he's down near the bottom, right there.
Here's 3rd and 3. Holland looking for Anderson, got hit before the pass got there. It's incomplete. Might have been incidental contact, but Fulbright was on the coverage. Looked like he interfered with the receiver Anderson, who was coming across the field.
Well, there you see a little bump by Fulbright, but they're both going for the ball. That's incidental to going for the ball. Fulbright has a right to go after the ball as well.
Well, apparently, Sonny Lubick has gained confidence in his new kicker, redshirt freshman Jason Smith. He's 2 for 2 tonight. This will be a 28-yard attempt. And he nails that one. So 3 more for the Rams. And they are within a touchdown of Rocky Long's Lobos. Redshirt freshman Jason Smith, 3 for 3 on field goal. Good decision by the veteran head coach, Sonny Lubick, to make a change.
I want another championship so bad, it hurts. But I worked through it with the icy hot sleeve.
Joint-hugging pain medicine that starts icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away.
Get the icy hot sleeve. Hard work and pain relief.
Drink variety. Sonic's got it, others don't. Make Sonic your morning drink stop with our refreshing new low-calorie Diet Cherry Lemonade. Try one today, or any of our thousands of other drink flavor combinations. And now, swipe your card from your car. Only at Sonic.
ESPN College Game Day.
It don't get any better than this.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
There are many ways to winterize your car. For instance, you could change your antifreeze, or put on heavy-duty wiper blades, and switch to snow tires. But the easiest thing you can do is often the most overlooked. Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. We offer low monthly payments 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And best of all, there's no installation.
I promise.
I promise that Chevy Tahoe has best-in-class fuel economy.
Plus, OnStar and StabiliTrak, a combination Ford and Toyota don't offer.
Chevy Tahoe has best-in-class fuel economy. That's better than Toyota Sequoia. Now lease an 06 Tahoe LS 2-wheel drive for around $369 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
That's the Chevy Total Value Promise, and it starts right here.
See your local Chevy dealer.
It's time for your chance to win one of 100 Philips HD TVs with DirecTV service for a year. Log on to 100yardblitz.com to enter. The code word is Rio Grande.
Tonight's 100-yard blitz code word is Rio Grande. Hear the winner announced on Mike and Mike in the morning. Well, Dontrell Moore has only touched it once in the third quarter. That could be why Colorado State is back within 7. Moore had that total at halftime, including a couple of touchdowns.
Well, I think that's going to change. He's going to touch the ball soon.
His only carry of the half, he actually lost yardage. Fulbright on the kick return, going to get taken down shy of the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the Ford road ahead. Great college football games on the family of networks. North Carolina beat number 6 Miami last year. That was in Chapel Hill. USC and Washington State. And then our primetime game tomorrow night, Northwestern and Michigan. First time those two schools have played with the Wildcats being ranked higher than the Wolverines since the 50s.
And if I heard you right, Trevor, I think you said Washington State's passing attack was going to give USC a lot of trouble.
We're going to find out how good that depleted secondary is.
They go back to Dontrell Moore, his second touch this half, and he gains a couple. Well, Moore touched it 42 times last week against San Diego State and had over 220 all-purpose yards. And we asked Rocky Long if he's hesitant at all to continue to give him that many touches because of the ACL injury. Long said no, but that was also before tonight when Moore was hobbling a little bit in the first half. Do you think that changes now for Long? He's only got 2 touches so far. They have McCamey on the quarterback draw, and Courtney Jones plants him in the turf. Loss of 2 yards on the play. Moore was terrific in the first half with a couple of touchdowns. This is the run that took to the 1-yard line, and then he scored a couple of plays later. And from 29 yards out, his second touchdown. But only 2 touches in the third quarter. McCamey rolling out. The pass is caught by Wilson, but well short of the first down. 3 and out for the Lobos. Darrell Williams on the coverage.
Well, Colorado State has made a concerted effort to limit what Moore can do with the ball. They're forcing New Mexico to go elsewhere by rolling their defense to Moore.
And we saw Moore limping, and there he is. Kind of looks like he's not walking with a lot of confidence on that ACL, and he has spent a lot of time on this bench in the cold breeze, and that thing can get a little stiff.
You have to wonder now if Long is changing his mind about giving Moore that many touches because of the fact that he is hobbling a little bit.
I think they're okay. I think they've just gone away from him. They haven't been able to get to him because of what Colorado State's doing.
Walker with the fair catch at the 39-yard mark. Moore was hobbling in the first half after this hit.
He's got a defender that'll, buckle over under that knee, and it kind of gets buckled and turns sideways on the way down.
But he ran very well after that and scored a touchdown and was moving okay. That was early, but he came back to play well. And now nothing's happened in the second half, but Colorado State has really gone after him to take him out of the running game.
All but 2 minutes of this quarter have been played on the Lobo side of the field. Colorado State from the 39. Holland with another strike. This one to Dustin Osborne. And there they go back in Lobo territory. With more on Dontrell Moore and whether Rocky Long is hesitant at all to continue to give him the ball, here's Stacy.
Dave, at the half, I blatantly asked Coach Rocky Long, what is up with Dontrell Moore? Why is he limping? He said, Stace, there's nothing wrong with him. He's probably going to get his touches, guys, in the second half, but how about the Colorado State defense? Injury depleted, picking it up.
Yeah, Moore lit them up in the first half and in the previous 3 games against them in his career. But has not gotten a chance in the second half. Nice play there. Sealander tripping up the quarterback, Holland. Again, showing that he holds on to the ball for a while.
Yeah, and that's the game plan. You know, he doesn't move very well. They want to go after him, force him to move his feet. When he stands in the pocket, Holland has an arm as good as anybody's in the country.
He was looking for Dustin Osborne deep up the left sideline. It was terrific coverage by Fulbright. And I thought it was a good move on his part to not try to force it into that coverage, even though it was a sack.
Pretty good numbers for Holland on the night. He threw for over 400 last week, over 200 tonight, as we have played 3 quarters here in Albuquerque. And Colorado State is within a touchdown. No points for the Lobos in that third quarter. The potent offense shut out after a terrific first half from Dontrell Moore.
Singular customers text City to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
SUV, you'd include innovations that make it safer for everyone, that make it as quiet and comfortable as a luxury car, that make it more powerful but use less fuel. You'd build the 2006 Explorer, the best Explorer ever.
Let's see how the jacked up right guard extreme power stripe works now that it's 25% stronger. Let's say these guys are the power stripe. Red Rover, we call T all over! And this guy's odor. Ah! You do not want to be odor. Get more extreme, get right guard!
It's the 25th anniversary of Pizza Hut Pan Pizza.
And there's only one way to celebrate 25 years. Pan pizza for 25 cents. Just buy any large specialty pizza at menu price and you'll get a medium one-topping pan pizza for a quarter.
Where does reality end and pure vision begin? It all starts with a Pioneer plasma display, offering incredibly high contrast for a nearly 3D picture. Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
SSX on tour. Rated D10 for age 10 and up. EA Sports.
Guys on the bench, it's a low bench. And so you see guys sitting up on these equipment boxes because it's a lot easier to stand up from. Adrian Bird, Brown, you got Moore over there. It's just easier to get up.
2nd and 17 of the Colorado State 45 after the sack. Nice pass breakup, nearly picked off by Parker on the redirection. Cody Case broke up the pass intended for George Hill. New Mexico 27-3 over the last 5 years when leading after 3 quarters, 3-1 this year.
Rocky Long's team is good in the 4th quarter, very good in the 2nd half of the season. They just play really well down the stretch. That's gotten them to 3 straight bowl games.
Gabriel Fulbright trying to get this capacity crowd on its feet. They've sold more season tickets this year at University Stadium than ever before. Logo fever has caught on in Albuquerque. On 3rd and 17, pressure coming, and Holland is sacked, but a penalty flag down. Might be a helmet-to-helmet there by Marcus Parker, was thrown right at number 90 in red. Quincy Black came in first, and then Parker second, hitting the quarterback.
You know, Holland was only sacked 9 times coming into this game. He's been sacked almost that many times tonight.
Holding 34, offense, decline, 4th down.
So holding the call, and Sonny Lubbock's team will have to punt it away on 4th and long.
Well, part of the reason he sacked so much tonight is the nature of this defense. Because they don't have the big, strong individuals to beat offensive linemen one-on-one, they blitz from different angles, and there's confusion in the protection sometimes. And all it takes is a bit of hesitation from a blocker for a rusher to get the upper hand.
Taylor on to boot it away. Gabriel Fulbright, who had a muff pump and was recovered by Colorado State earlier in the game, is back to receive it. A liner that gets caught up in the wind. Fulbright almost fielded it. It's going to be a touchback. That's a 64-yard punt. A line drive. Had a little wind behind him. Well, it's that time of year. And that's what our crew looks like after working with us 3 in the booth after 10 games.
Wearing them out.
Although that's an improvement for Bob Joyner right there.
He's got to be smiling behind that mask.
Oh, those guys do a great job for us. Giving you great shots throughout this campaign. So New Mexico takes over at the 20, leading by a touchdown. They force McCamey to keep. He goes down after a gain of 2 yards. They're not even letting Moore get a chance to get the football.
That's exactly right. What they're doing with their defense is making sure that McCamey keeps the ball, that Moore doesn't beat them.
They did that by bringing up an 8th man, a safety that came up late, right into the teeth of that option.
Great adjustment at halftime by Sonny Lubick and company in a battle for second place here in Albuquerque. New Mexico will be bowl eligible with a win tonight. Colorado State trying to go to 4-1 in the league. It controls its own destiny in the Mountain West, playing at TCU next week. TCU is atop the standings at 5-0. McCamey throwing the length of the field, dangerous throw. It's caught and actually lost yardage. Darrell Williams takes down Mulcrone on the play.
Well, McCamey does not have the arm strength that Holland has. You can see the comparison on that throw. Holland has been throwing bullets all over the field tonight. That ball from McCamey hung out there as it went across the field.
And Rod, Colorado State will test him because they're stacking the box with 8 men. They're attacking the rushing lanes. New Mexico has not been able to get anything going. You see 0 first downs in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be up to McCamey throwing the ball to loosen them up.
Colorado State has not only shut down Dontrell Moore, but Hank Baskett here in the second half as well. McCamey looking for Baskett, and it's picked off. Robert Herbert has done a great job on Baskett all night. Baskett didn't see him, and Herbert ran right by him. And Herbert is finally knocked down inside the 25.
That is the 3rd time Herbert's gotten his hands on balls. The 1st time he's picked one off.
That's the 2nd interception by McCamey in the half.
And the first one was the same problem. If you're going to throw it up to man coverage, to Baskett, get it up in the air. And this ball comes down too low, and Herbert just has to reach up for it. There is no jump ball there.
Now the Oregon State transfer does a nice job of getting the ball back into territory here. And watch McCamey. He's thrown this ball. He's given up the pick. And now he just gets pushed off the field.
Yeah, I can't say I feel bad for him.
Bell on first down, breaking tackles, showing his speed. Bell is in. Touchdown, Colorado State. The Rams capitalize on the interception and have a chance to tie the game in the 4th quarter. We talked about Bell's strength in the first half. He shows his speed here in the second half.
No doubt about it. Watch him break the arm tackle there, and then the speed to the outside. A lot of folks didn't think he had that, and then he finishes the run in the end zone.
Jason Smith on for the extra point. And he ties the game. Remember, he replaces Kevin Martin, who missed 2 PATs last week. New Mexico missed 2 PATs in the first half. And we are tied at 25, early 4th in Albuquerque.
Earlier this year, the introduction of the all-new Kia Sportage was a big announcement. And new owners liked everything about the Sportage so much that now Sportage has been ranked the most appealing entry-level SUV by J.D. Power & Associates. It's our biggest announcement yet. Discover what Kia owners already know. Lease a new 2006 Sportage for only $199 a month.
Still going. Energizer keeps going and going.
Lord Vader.
Yes, Master.
Right.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, arrives on DVD. Bring home the biggest movie of the year and let the fun begin. With over 6 hours of bonus features.
The Jedi are no more.
The saga is now complete. Buy Star Wars Episode 3 on DVD Tuesday.
those guys?
Oh, that's our network. It's the most reliable. Comes with the phone.
Do I, owe you?
Nope, we're good.
Cool. There's only one reason to choose a wireless company. It's the network. And now America's most reliable wireless network has cool Samsung camera phones for just $49.99. Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
Surprising citrus flavors unlike anything else. Discover Fresca in original and new peach and black cherry flavors.
In the first half, New Mexico led Colorado State 22-5. But the Rams have overcome that 17-point deficit and tie the game. McCamey has thrown 2 picks this half. And a mark on to kick it away from the 35. Fulbright and Wright away. And another kickoff that is not returnable. And New Mexico will start at the 20-yard line. Let's check in with Stacey Dale Schumann down on the sideline.
Well, Dave, people might be wondering how in the world has Colorado State come back from, at one time, a 17-point deficit in this game. That man right there has revitalized this team 13 years. His players, guys, they're trying to get him his 100th win. It's all about responsibility, character, respect. Keep winning and losing in perspective. And last but not least, work hard and love what you do. His players are loving it right now, Dave.
And we talked to some of the coaches for Colorado State this week as McCamey pitches to Moore at the last second, and Moore's going to make something out of it. Does well to get back close to the line of scrimmage. Should have lost about 7 or 8. But we're talking with some coaches for Colorado State this week, and they love the fact that there's some security with the Rams, not only because they have a job, as there's a penalty flag down, but also because they like to work for Lubick because he lets them do their job.
Well, he's been more involved vocally, more enthusiastically, more in detail involved with what the assistants are doing and what the players are doing this year. Last year, 4-7, they had a lot of injuries, and he wants to make sure that his imprint is still on this team in detail.
They pick up the flag, 2nd down and 11. They go to Moore, and he is not going to get away from Courtney Jones. Only one on the play, back to the original line of scrimmage. New Mexico hasn't even made it past its own 27 this half.
Sonny Lubick has brought this team really from the doldrums to an outstanding team. They've won or shared 6 conference championships since he's been here. And sometimes an organization will forget what got them there in terms of focused urgency, the work. And so he is reasserting himself onto those issues this year.
He remembers his first win 8-5 over Air Force back in 1993. Remembers it in detail. If they win tonight, this will be a memorable one as well. But not so fast. The first down for New Mexico. Mulcrone with it, and New Mexico has finally passed its own 30-yard line this half. The Lobos had over 300 yards total offense in the first half. Not much here in the second half. Rocky Long has done equally well at New Mexico, taking a program that was nowhere and leading them to 3 straight bowls. They haven't won a bowl game in some 45 years. Here's McCamey on the keeper. To the 38-yard line for 7 yards.
Well,
there's an injured Colorado State player.
You can see the Colorado State philosophy defensively on that play. They overplay Moore and force McCamey to keep the ball. On any option, they're trying to dictate that McCamey keeps the ball. They don't want Moore to be the guy to beat them.
Travis Garcia is the injured Colorado State player. So good adjustments at halftime by Steve Stannard, the defensive coordinator and company.
Well, one of the things that he probably did was pay attention to what Rocky Long said during the week. Rocky said in an interview, hey, if you want to stop New Mexico, I'd focus on Moore. But a lot of teams focus on stopping our passing game. Well, Colorado State got it at halftime and figured they'd focus on stopping Moore. You see Garcia, that was the play that caused the injury.
Yeah, he looked like he ran into his own man. His head hit Kochaver.
Well, he wants to get up, and they're saying, hey, yeah, be slow. You don't want to stand up fast when you get your bell rung. You want to stand up slowly. Anybody who's ever gotten up off the ground too fast and got a head rush will know why that is.
You're saying you've been there?
Oh, boy, have I been there. I think I'm still kind of there. It's good to see him, though, get up and walk off the field like this.
Glad you said it. You keep ragging on me for busting you.
He keeps picking Washington State to throw the ball around on USC. We know his bell is rung.
I said they will test them.
Oh, now the qualification.
No.
You're backing off.
That's what I said to start with.
2nd and 3. They go to Marshall Faulk. Dontrell Moore. And he gets the first down to the 42-yard line. Picks up 4 yards, but he lost the ball. Fumbled it away. Was his knee down? Again, we have instant replay here tonight. They're giving it to Colorado State. Moore coughs it up. They can challenge. Rocky Long still has the red challenge flag. Darrell Williams looked like he came up with it for Colorado State.
That ball looked like it was out before Moore went down. You see the ball down around his legs as he was falling. They just stripped him of the ball. He was not carrying the ball riveted against his rib cage.
It was Radford that may have stripped it away there. And no replay. Colorado State going to take over at the 41. Another New Mexico turnover. The Rams #1 in takeaways in the Mountain West. And Holland going for it all. There's a man there, but the pass is overthrown. Johnny Walker beat the defensive back down the field, but Holland overshot him.
We got that ball high up in the air. The wind is at his back, and up high, it's blowing. The flags at the top of the stadium are stretched out flat. And so he got the ball up into that wind, and that's what made it carry too far.
4 turnovers this half by the Lobos. Colorado State has come back from 17 down in the first half to tie the game. And they only have 66 total yards this half, but they keep starting right around New Mexico's 30 or 40-yard line because of the turnovers. Here's Bell. Penalty flag down. Bell has the first down inside the 30, but it's thrown in the area of holding. And it is holding on Colorado State.
Talk about key plays in this half. Herbert with a pick brings it back into New Mexico territory. That set up a score. That would be this score as Kyle Bell showed you some strength and speed to get to the outside and tie the ball game up at 25.
And Colorado State really forced McCamey into making that throw because they have stacked the line against Dontrell Moore. As you look at the takeaways and the points off, and that's been huge. 2 interceptions by McCamey in the second half because Colorado State is forcing him to throw it more.
Steve Stanton, the defensive coordinator for Colorado State, says we don't care how many rushing yards we give up. We just want to force turnovers, which they've done tonight. Holland going again for Walker, and he hangs on to it inside the 20 as he gets hit by Ditmore. First down inside the red zone for the Rams.
Well, they bring pressure from the left side, the wide side to the field, and you have a mismatch. The pickup there was a linebacker on Walker, and that is never going to work. Walker's here. Pressure here, linebacker on him. Not a good matchup. He just runs right by him. Safety is late getting over to help.
Safety needs to know that mismatch exists and get there.
Pretty good throw by Holland as well, and the ball at the New Mexico 19. Back to the running game with Bell. Powers the pile to the 16 for about 3. Cody Case on the tackle.
Let me go back to that last play for a moment and talk about it. Remember the last couple of weeks we talked about when a blitz comes from one area of the field, the best place to throw is where the blitz comes from. And that's because you have to cover up that area, and you saw it on that play. You got a mismatch, and the safety has to rotate over to that area. That's the weakness when you bring pressure that way.
And the safety was late. Holland threw it in the right spot. Certainly looks like the most talented quarterback in Colorado State history as he's been deemed by many associated with the program. Bell can't get to the outside. Wright comes up from his safety spot, forces the play back inside to Stephen Hutchison. Third down coming up.
I don't think there's been a quarterback at Colorado State with a better arm than Holland has had. And there's no question in my mind about that. He hasn't been as productive as guys like Bradley Van Pelt, but he certainly has an NFL-style arm.
And that's important. That's one thing the NFL guys want to see is, can he make those long outs? Can he make all the throws? And this guy can make every one of them. We've seen him against the wind sometimes tonight.
Kelly Stauffer was a great college player at Colorado State, didn't translate into NFL success. Holland going for the end zone, and he's got his man Anderson. What a catch for a touchdown by the all-time leading receiver in Colorado State history. And the Rams have the lead.
I'll tell you, Holland is putting on a show about quarterbacking, how to throw a ball, and Anderson is putting on a little clinic of his own about playing wide receiver. Look at that. One-handed, and he gets both feet down.
He only needed one, but he got both down. Smith on for the PAT, but we might have, we have a review. Rocky Long has thrown his red challenge flag. He's going to review that play. I don't know why he would waste it here, because it clearly was a catch, but he is going to challenge it anyway. If he doesn't win it, he's going to lose a timeout. But it was clear from what we saw that he had possession, and he actually had 2 feet down. He only needed 1.
Well, he believes
there was a touchdown. The receiver did not have possession.
Yeah, he thinks Anderson was bobbling the ball, but actually Anderson caught it with 2 hands and then brought it down, 1 hand down to himself while he tried to get his feet down. Look at that. He's got possession there.
Oh, yeah, he's got possession.
That's clearly possession, yeah.
That's going to be a costly timeout.
He's going to lose it.
Right, taken away. That's on leave New Mexico with 2 timeouts. They might need them down the stretch here.
2-handed catch, transfers 1 hand for balance now. Look at that.
That's not a good decision by New Mexico to throw the challenge flag there and waste not only their challenge, but a timeout.
Now, shouldn't replay be over now?
Sonny Lubing thinks so. He just saw it on the
it shouldn't take much longer for them to say, touchdown, let's go back and play.
And that official will hold on to that flag.
Come on, move it on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go now. Pick it up, guys.
The ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
Again, why would you waste not only your challenge, but now you waste the timeout. You lose the timeout, and you lose your challenge for the rest of this game. So, New Mexico is down to 2 timeouts. Colorado State also with 2 timeouts. But the Rams have come back from 17 down to take the lead. Holland to his favorite target in the all-time leading receiver in Colorado State history, David Anderson. Smith for the PAT. And it's a 7-point lead. The Rams have outscored the Lobos 20-zip in the second half. Justin Holland, a huge reason why finds Anderson and the Rams lead.
The Kia Amante has just been ranked the most appealing premium midsize car by J.D. Power & Associates. Amante owners could tell you why they rated their cars highest in a study that looked at design, content, layout, and performance. But some things just speak for themselves. Discover what Kia owners already know. Lease a new 2005 Amante for only $289 a month.
Introducing Taco Bell's new Steak or Chicken Nachos Bel Grande. Grilled authentic carne asada steak or marinated all white meat chicken give Nachos Bel Grande that great flavor of the grill. For great grilled taste, think outside the bun.
You are a naughty boy.
Warning. The wearing of Tag body spray in collegiate settings may result in straight A's, but a complete misunderstanding of the French language. Comprende?
Introducing Tag body spray for guys. Consider yourself warned.
ESPN College Game Day.
It don't get any better than this.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
Moving
is hard. Having your cable installed is easy. Before you move, call Comcast and we'll get you connected to your new cable company. Moving is hard. Having your cable installed is easy. Call Comcast and learn how to get a valuable offer from Lowe's just for movers.
Now open in Calhoun, Georgia. Auction Express and Highway 53 West in Calhoun. Bring the whole family. New car trades, bank repos, trucks, cars, vans, SUVs. Some start as low as $100. 2 big sales a week, Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Open Monday through Friday for your shopping convenience. Call for more info. 706-629-8632. Auction Express is the place to buy or sell your next vehicle.
Colorado State outscoring New Mexico in the second half 20-0. Plus the Rams have overcome their kicking problems from a week ago. With more on that, here's Stacy.
Dave, remember that they made some coaching changes, or some kicking changes rather. They have, as you see, Kevin Mark doing the kickoffs tonight. He was the place kicker, but Jason Smith has been perfect tonight handling the place kicking duties, and it's paid dividends with a couple of field goals, guys.
And they do well covering the kick there, taking Fulbright down to the 10. Meanwhile, New Mexico has missed 2 point-after touchdowns in this game tonight.
Well, if you're New Mexico, you've got to see that Colorado State is stuffing the middle for Dontrell Moore. And they've got to move him around, get him involved, and it's up to that and McCamey's arm. That's where we stand.
So first down to the 11. McCamey back to the freeze option. Going long for basket. Broken up by Herbert. Herbert has really played basket well tonight.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
What might be considered an upset brewing here in Albuquerque as Colorado State was down by 17, now leads by 7, controls its own destiny in the Mountain West as that pass is caught by Wilson for a first down. Remember, if Colorado State wins tonight and goes and beats TCU on the road next week and wins their final game, the Rams would win the Mountain West Conference.
Sonny Lubick has to be pleased with the way things have gone in the second half here. They're forcing Kyle McCamey to carry everything on the offensive end for New Mexico, not Dontrell Moore. It's exactly the game plan he wanted.
Moore on first down, picks a hole and does well. Gets 5 to 27. Radford on the tackle for Colorado State. Well, New Mexico has been 5-2 in the league each of the last 3 years, trying to get to 4-2 tonight. New Mexico would have a tough time catching TCU. Colorado State probably the only team left that can do it. TCU perfect in the league, and the only loss for the Horned Frogs this year at SMU. Second and 5. Under 7 to play in the fourth quarter. Option to Moore. Into the secondary for the first down. Got 8 of the play to the 35. Dontrell Moore looking like he did in the first half on this drive. Sports Center is coming up next. Neil Everett, Scott Van Pelt. At all today's news and highlights. Which unbeaten will go down in college football? And Teddy Bruschi back with the Patriots. And a Windy City welcome for the World Series champion Chicago White Sox.
Excellent job by Kenny Williams, the general manager, out there putting that squad together, getting it done in 4 straight.
The Red Sox last year and the White Sox this year. And again, they force McCamey to keep it, and it goes down. Jesse Nading making another play in the New Mexico backfield.
Perfect example of what we've been talking about, Trevor, making sure that McCamey keeps the ball and he doesn't pitch it to Moore.
They brought a corner blitz on the side that they ran to make sure that they had a guy on the perimeter outside of Moore. No chance for Moore to get away.
Steve Stannard calling those plays, making sure Moore is bottled up.
So 2nd and 17. McCamey on the drag route hits Travis Brown. Back to the original line of scrimmage, the 35. Darrell Williams on the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 as Colorado State has shut down Hank Baskett here in the 2nd half.
One thing we haven't seen from New Mexico since the 1st half is the screen pass, the slip screen to Moore to get him in space and let him create.
And Baskett doesn't have a catch in this half. McCamey's numbers have gotten worse. 2 picks in the 2nd half. Colorado State brings the blitz. There's Baskett with his first grab of the 2nd half, but he's taken down well shy of the marker by Travis Garcia. Gain of only 4 there, and New Mexico will have to punt the football.
Great defensive call. It is designed to bring the blitz to make the quarterback McCamey throw the ball right now so that you can come up and make the tackle.
Tyler Goss will boot it away to Johnny Walker. Very dangerous with the ball in his hands. New Mexico is going to have to come up with a stop, and remember, they burned a timeout by throwing the red challenge flag when it was ill-advised. And Colorado State almost comes up with a block kick. Goss went down, but no penalty flag. It was not running into the kicker. No flag. And Colorado State will take over inside its 20. Final 4 minutes coming up from Albuquerque. Colorado State by 7 over to Mexico.
You love the NFL. You live for the NFL. To you, the NFL is life itself. And ESPN News is your never-ending source for NFL news, highlights, scores, and stats. With shows like The Blitz and Monday Quarterback.
Successful quarterbacks watch coverage. They do not watch their receivers.
Live press conferences, deep analysis.
They play football the way it's supposed to be played.
All things NFL 24/7. Find it at ESPN News.
We love pillaging this time of year. But with so many people switching to Capital One, we've had to find new jobs. Some of us are getting pretty desperate.
For low rates and great rewards, switch to Capital One.
What's in your wallet? Boo!
Earlier this year, the introduction of the all-new Kia Sportage was a big announcement. And new owners liked everything about the Sportage so much that now Sportage has been ranked the most appealing entry-level SUV by J.D. Power & Associates. It's our biggest announcement yet. Discover what Kia owners already know. Lease a new 2006 Sportage for only $199 a month.
Prove you're the best of the battlefield and take home $250,000. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Rated T for teen.
Void in a number of states and where prohibited. For eligibility requirements and complete tournament rules, go to battlefield.ea.com.
Well, every Friday is a freaky one when it comes to college football this year. Another wild one tonight. Colorado State down 17 in the first half, has come back to take the lead, and David Anderson is racing down the sideline inside the New Mexico 40-yard line. He had the go-ahead touchdown, and he gets the Rams to the Lobo 38 on that play.
And left tackle Mike Brizell got out on that screen, got a great block on Fulbright, and sprung it. He doesn't get the stat for the rushing, but he is the hero of that play.
And how about the call by Dan Hammerschmidt, the offensive coordinator? Everyone expecting him to come run the clock out. He goes with a quick pass to Anderson to get some yardage and open things up. He's got a smile about that. That makes you happy.
44-yard pass play.
honors him with 8 catches, close to 130 yards, and a couple of touchdowns tonight. Holland going back to the air, and Sperry with his first catch tonight takes it to the 17-yard line. He had been quiet up until that point. He gets Colorado State in the red zone.
How about this? I mean, most offensive coordinators would have sat on the ball and basically said, hey, we'll run some time off the clock and let our defense win the game if we have to. But they've gone after it and taken the ball deep inside the red zone now.
And they expected New Mexico's defense to sit in there against a pounding running attack to eat up clock. And so they said, okay, if you're going to do this, we're going to hit you outside with the quick passing game.
Holland with 312 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, only 6 incompletions. Pleasing Dan Hammerschmidt, certainly. Running play, Bell finds a way to get near the 10 for about 7 yards.
And you can run the ball now, because even if you don't run the clock off and don't get a touchdown, the fact that your freshman kicker, your walk-on, has come through in this ball game should be able to deliver one more time, make it a 2-possession game, and get you a win.
Remember, New Mexico only with 2 timeouts, had to burn 1 through the challenge flag. Rocky Long was challenging a play that clearly was a touchdown. It cost him a timeout when the play stood as called on the field, and so the Lobos can only stop the clock twice. And they've got to stop the Rams here from getting a touchdown. Bell trying to back his way to a first down, gets to the 9 for 2 yards.
Well, at this point, New Mexico has got to strip the ball away because these 3 guys have come through. Holland has found Anderson and Bell, been able to get the ball spread to them, and they've been able to, especially in the second half, dominate the New Mexico defense. The adjustment from the first half turned Holland loose on the passing game.
Sports Center coming up next on ESPN2. Highlights of the comeback by Colorado State and much more coming up. Clock down to about 90 seconds. Any kind of points for Colorado State make it a 2-possession game. Bell will not get to the first down marker, so it's going to be 4th down. And New Mexico will call a timeout, and we'll have 1 remaining.
And they only have 1 because they challenged the touchdown catch by Anderson. That was clearly a touchdown, so they lost a timeout for that.
Well, ESPN Game Plan features 15-plus college football games each week, so if you can't find the game you want to see this Saturday, there's an excellent chance it's going to be on ESPN Game Plan, especially if it's part of ABC's regional coverage. If you're on the East Coast and you don't get the Washington State USC game, check out Game Plan. Or if you want to get on the computer, ESPN Game Plan online. And plus, Ohio State, Minnesota. Could be an interesting game. Ohio State with a top rushing defense. Minnesota with a top rushing offense.
And just how many passing yards do you think Washington State will get against USC, Trevor?
Well, we're going to find out. Are you saying the USC? See, USC's got injuries back there, and 71 other teams are better at pass efficiency defense. Now, part of that is because they played against 4 of the top 10 passing offenses this year.
I'll call you Sunday morning.
Jason Smith kicking field goals for the first time ever tonight. Redshirt freshman, a perfect 3 out of 3. Could perhaps seal the game with a made field goal here from 25 yards. And he's got it. And Colorado State leads by 10. Man, who would be your MVP tonight for Colorado State? Would it be Anderson? Would it be Holland? Or would it be this kid, Jason Smith?
He's certainly a candidate. Put him up there, put Robert Herbert up there, too, the cornerback who's had a pick and played really well. I don't know. You've got a bunch of heroes for the Rams tonight.
What a comeback. Down 22-5. They've outscored New Mexico 30-3 since then. And New Mexico had over 300 yards of total offense in the first half. And remember, if New Mexico had made 2 PATs in the first half, right now it would be a 1-possession game. Because of those missed extra points, it's a 2-possession game. And Rocky Long's team has only 1 timeout remaining.
Well, New Mexico was just wearing out Colorado State in the first half. They were running at will. That changed in the second half when Colorado State decided to dictate who was going to beat them. They were not going to let Dontrell Moore be the guy. On the option, they forced McCamey to keep the ball. And then on straight running plays, they had everybody else crashing inside.
And then on offense, the running game wasn't working at all in the first half. They went to the passing game. They turned Holland loose. And the defense, with 2 interceptions and with stopping New Mexico's offense, gave Colorado State's offense a short field over and over again.
Fulbright will take a knee, and New Mexico will start at the 20. Jason Smith kicking field goals tonight for the first time has been perfect, and with more on him, we bring in Stace.
Dave, he has been incredibly impressive. We have to remember the fact that he has only kicked 1 PAT in his entire career at Colorado State. That was against a blowout Minnesota game earlier. And guys, he is a star standout triple jumper for Colorado State in the Mountain West Conference, and they really like him. And the special teams coach, Arnold, had good praise for him in his week of practice this week.
4 for 4 on field goals tonight. McCamey in trouble. Goes down to the 22. New Mexico can only stop it one more time.
He lost his shoe now.
That's the second time that's happened tonight, where he's had trouble with his shoes.
And the clock runs while he gets it back on. Now they stop it. No, they don't stop it. It's still running.
New Mexico going to save that final timeout. McCamey finds Brown. That'll stop the clock, but it's third down. If Colorado State wins this game, as you look at the fact that Mexico hasn't even crossed into Colorado State territory, this would be win number 100 in the terrific head coaching career at Colorado State for Sonny Lubick. This was a team after a 4-win season last year that started 0-2. But they've bounced back, and if they hold on here, will win their 5th in the last 6 games. It'll be just a game back of TCU for first place in the conference. McCamey's pass sails over the head of basket. It'll be 4th down and 5. Perhaps the final play of the night for New Mexico's offense coming up. And does Sonny Lubick get the credit he deserves, guys, for countrywide? 10 straight winning seasons, 4 10-plus wins.
I don't think he does, and you have to look at where he came from. Colorado State's program for decades was in the doldrums before he got there to lift it up.
Here's 4th down and 5. And they run the option, and Colorado State will take over and win this football game. Blake Smith takes down McCamey on a curious call on 4th down and 5. And the Rams get it back, and Sonny Lubick is going to hit the century mark for wins.
Now, the one thing New Mexico will regret when they look back at this ball game is the few times Dontrell Moore touched the ball in the second half is Sonny Lubick will enjoy his 100th win.
Colorado State will exceed its win total from all of last year. And it's been 378 days since the Rams last won a road game. New Mexico was riding high coming in. We thought when it was 22-5, the Lobos might run the Rams out of the park. But it didn't happen, as New Mexico turned it over 4 times in the second half.
There's a dejected young man.
And a shower for win number 100 for Sonny Lubick.
Well, they now control their own destiny in the Mountain West Conference. Next week, they play at TCU. If they can beat TCU, they finish with San Diego State and UNLV, games that they should win. And that would make them at least co-champions of this conference.
Congratulations to Sonny Lubick, win number 100. What a comeback by his Rams. Down 17 in the first half. They storm back and beat New Mexico by the final score of 35-25. This game has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Rod Gilmore, Trevor Maddich, Stacey Dale Schumann, our entire ESPN2 crew, Dave Pasch saying so long and sending you off to SportsCenter.
Time's a waste, and we're with you to the top of the hour. Wild Blue Jackets, Dwayne Rollison, and then Wild and the Jackets in the third.